Tamil Nadu has also been given a Padma Vibhushan award, and so has the same been given to former Vice President of India and former Union Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu as well. As far as the Padma Bhushan awards are concerned, we see quite a few names feature on this list as well, including yesteryear actor and popular actor turned politician Mithun Chakravarti, actor turned politician Captain Vijaykanth, and also what we have seen on this list is popular singer Usha Uthup is featured on this particular list as well. As far as the Padma Vibhushan awards are concerned, the government has given out these names as well, but what we do notice is that out of the 5 Padma Vibhushan awardees, 4 hail from the southern part of the country. That is something which has been spotted as well. As far as these announcements are concerned, the government has also ensured that they give recognition to a lot of people who worked exceptionally in various fields but have been unsung heroes as well. And this has been a trademark as far as the Narendra Modi government is concerned when they keep announcing such names.
Well, now we are shifting our focus to Bihar, where political drama has just escalated over the seat-sharing issue, deepening fissures between Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and his allies in the INDIA bloc raised the possibility of his return to the NDA. Now, the opposition's efforts are underway to prevent such kind of a move. RJD President Lalu Prasad Yadav's daughter criticized Kumar for ideological shifts, prompting a response from a BJP leader who emphasized the future imperatives. Now, former Deputy CM Sushil Modi stated that the state BJP is open to Nitish Kumar's return if decided by the top leadership only. Now, Bihar BJP State President Samrat Chaudhary arrived in Delhi amid the political movements. As per sources, Nitish camp has felt insulted at last INDIA Alliance's online meeting at the hands of the Congress. Now, it was also hinted to JDU that Mamta may have a problem with Nitish becoming the convener, and that may JDU reject the convener post itself.
Hectic developments have been seen as far as the political future of the state of Bihar is concerned. Now, on Thursday, there were a number of meetings that took place both in Patna, which is the capital of Bihar, and of course here in the national capital as well. Nitish Kumar held multiple meetings with his party leaders, and so did the RJD leadership, whether it was Lalu Prasad Yadav or even Tejasvi Yadav. After the developments came to the fore, the BJP in fact asked the party chief Samrat Chaudhary, Tarkeshwar Prasad, the former deputy chief minister, the former deputy chief minister Renuji, and of course Sushil Kumar Modi, senior leader of the party, who was also the former deputy CM, to come to the national capital. A meeting was first held at the General Secretary and of course the Bihar in charge Vinod Talway's residence, followed by a meeting that was held at the residence of BJP's former president, of course current day Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah's Delhi residence. As far as the BJP is concerned, as of now sources say that the BJP is waiting and adopting a wait and watch policy as far as the entire development is concerned. The party may look at multiple options. A, they may look at an option to just go immediately with Nitish Kumar and probably just form the government and decide on how the equation would pan out from there on. Or secondly, recommend a presidential rule to be imposed and then probably look at holding elections and keeping the other strategies in mind as well.
सर, आपका बड़ा राजनीतिक लंबा अनुभव रहा है बिहार की राजनीति में और आपने नीतीश कुमार के साथ लंबे वक्त तक काम भी किया है। आज जो कैबिनेट की बैठक हुई उसके बाद कोई प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस नहीं हुआ, शुरुआत हम वहीं से करते हैं। इसको किस रूप में देखा जा रहा है? बहुत असहज सब कुछ दिख रहा है बिहार में।
देखिए, पिछले कई दिनों से जो महागठबंधन है उसमें असहजता दिखाई पड़ रही है। सीट शेयरिंग को लेकर केसी त्यागी जी का जिस तरह से बयान आ रहा है, जो नीतीश जी के सलाहकार हैं वो कह रहे हैं कि ममता बनर्जी छिटक कर अलग हो गई इंडी गठबंधन से, तो सीट शेयरिंग को लेकर जो तनाव की स्थिति दिखाई पड़ रही है। कांग्रेस जितनी सीटें चाह रही हैं और नीतीश जी कह रहे हैं कि कांग्रेस को कितनी सीट मिलेगी वो ये राष्ट्रीय जनता दल तय करे, उनको अपने कोटे से वो सीटें देनी है। और कल जिस तरह से भाषण किया है नीतीश कुमार ने कि परिवारवाद पर जिस तरह से अटैक किया है, तो इतना तीखा हमला तो मैं पहली बार देख रहा हूँ कि नीतीश जी ने और राष्ट्रीय जनता दल पर किया है। लेकिन इसका क्या अर्थ है, क्या मतलब है, ये समझना बड़ा मुश्किल काम है। जो बयान दिया, और ये कोई पहली बार इस तरह का बयान नहीं दिया। ये बात अलग है कि इस बार खुलकर उन्होंने और इस प्रकार का बयान दिया, लेकिन इसके पहले भी कई बार भाषणों में वो कह चुके हैं कि 2005 के पहले क्या हाल था, लोग शाम के बाद निकलते नहीं थे, मैं जब आया तब उसके बाद स्थिति में सुधार हुआ।
जेडीयू का इंडिया गठबंधन का पार्ट रहेगा।
इंडिया गठबंधन सलामत है।
जेडीयू का इंडिया गठबंधन का पार्ट रहेगा।
इंडिया गठबंधन सलामत है।
अरे हम बिहार शरीफ जा रहे हैं कल झंडा, कल झंडा है ना, कल गणतंत्र दिवस है जी। उसी अवसर पर हम अभी बिहार शरीफ जा रहे हैं, वहाँ के प्रभारी मंत्री हैं, वहाँ कल झंडा फहराए गए हम लोग। सरकार में अभी ठीक है तब तो जा रहे हैं झंडा फहराने।
देखिए बैठक होती है बताता हूँ।
राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष की मुलाकात में लग जाएगी सर। आपके सारे प्रोग्राम बिहार के थे, दिल्ली का कोई कार्यक्रम नहीं था, बुलाया अचानक?
नहीं एकदम कार्यक्रम था।
अच्छा ये बताइए, राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष से मुलाकात करेंगे आप? नीतीश अगर आते हैं ये स्वागत करेंगे ना?
अब बैठक तो होने दीजिए।
सरकार पूरी मजबूती के साथ बिहार में काम कर रही है, युवाओं के हित में, किसान के हित में, नौजवान के हित में। और पहले जो प्रतिज्ञा जो थी वो नीतीश जी के नेतृत्व में पूरा किया गया। मजबूती के साथ नीतीश जी का साथ दे रही है और अंगद की तरह पांव गाड़ कर करके सरकार में रखी हुई है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी सर्टेन घराना जो हाइपोथेटिकल एजेंडे को स्थापित कर करके वो अनस्टेबल स्थिति मीडिया में बनाने की जो कुछ कोशिश कर रहे हैं, कुछ प्राप्त नहीं होना है।
नीतीश कुमार का जो कदम अभी दिख रहा है, जिस तरह से तमाम चीजें कर्पूरी ठाकुर को भारत रत्न दिए जाने के बाद पहले एक ट्वीट आया दूसरे तरह का, उसमें फिर दूसरा ट्वीट आया 1 घंटे बाद, उसमें नरेंद्र मोदी को बधाई दी गई। लालू यादव से अलग मत, परिवारवाद के मुद्दे पर जो डिप्टी सीएम है तेजस्वी यादव अभी एक तरह से अप्रत्यक्ष तौर पर उन पर हमला करना लालू परिवार के ऊपर, कैसे देखते हैं इन चीजों को?
देखिए ये छक्का पंजा का खेल चल रहा है नीतीश कुमार और लालू यादव में, सह और मात। अगर नीतीश कुमार ने नरेंद्र मोदी जी को, कर्पूरी जी को सम्मान देने पर धन्यवाद दिया है तो क्या गाली देते?
लेकिन इस मुद्दे पर कर्पूरी ठाकुर को जो सम्मान मिला, उसके बाद परिवारवाद के मुद्दे पर जो नीतीश कुमार का हमला रहा, उसके बाद नरेंद्र मोदी का बयान, दोनों में एक रूपता दिख रही है, समानता दिख रही है। आपको लगता है कर्पूरी ठाकुर के ही बहाने दोनों लोग अब करीब आ रहे हैं एक बार फिर से 2017 की तरह?
नहीं, मैं इससे सहमत नहीं हूं। नीतीश कुमार जी सहमत का खेल जब से राजनीति में आए हैं वो करते रहे हैं। वो दोनों एक दूसरे से कितनी सीट मिलेगी उसके लिए बार्गेनिंग पावर किसका बढ़ेगा। नरेंद्र मोदी तो शुरू से परिवारवाद के खिलाफ है।
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी की प्रशंसा तो पूरा देश का, पूरा भारतवर्ष और उसके साथ पूरा विश्व कर रहा है। तो आज अगर नीतीश कुमार जी को ये दिखाई देता है तो इसमें कोई अचंभे की बात नहीं है। और जिस परिवारवाद की वो बात कर रहे हैं तो सरकार बनाते समय उन्हें इस परिवारवाद का ध्यान नहीं आया, मगर हाँ, जब प्रधानमंत्री और भाजपा की प्रशंसा हो रही है तो उन्होंने देखा है कि मोदी ने जिस गारंटी का वायदा किया था उस वायदे को पूर्ण तरीके से निभाया है, तो इसीलिए वो शायद प्रशंसा कर रहे हैं और इस बात के लिए हम उनकी प्रशंसा करते हैं।
पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता है हम, तो मार्गदर्शन लेने के लिए आते रहते हैं। हम पार्टी के प्रधान महासचिव निश्चित रूप से संगठन के लेके माननीय राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी से मार्गदर्शन लेते रहते हैं और हमेशा हम उनका आशीर्वाद प्राप्त करने के लिए आते हैं।
कहाँ बैठक बुलाया गया है? अरे लोगों के जानते हैं ना कैसे कहता है पतंग उड़ती है आकाश में धागे के वास्ते, लेकिन ये भाजपा वाला बोल रहा है खाली अपना बात बनवा सरकार है, बात बनाने से कुछ नहीं चलेगा। ये उद्योगपति की सरकार है, मीडिया खरीदा, सीबीआई, बिजनेसमैन सत्ता भी खरीद रहा है, ईवीएम खत्म कर दिया है।
सुरक्षित है आपकी सरकार?
हमारा सरकार तो महागठबंधन के सुरक्षित है। ये
While deepening fissures between Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and his allies in the INDIA bloc leave us with a larger question. Will Nitish Kumar return to NDA? We'll find out soon right here on CNN News 18. Right now it's time to slip into a very short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Well, now we'll be talking about TMC and Congress's breakup in West Bengal. Well, the political landscape sees TMC and Congress on the brink, with TMC accusing Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of being a BJP's agent. Now, Congress has attempted reconciliation, but TMC upset by the accusations that have been levelled by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, and hence it has further decided to contest on all 42 seats. Now, Kharge has reached out to the TMC, but the latter deemed it to be a too late an attempt. Now, TMC expressed frustration, stating that in the last 210 days, Adhir has disrupted alliance politics. Now, despite their patience, TMC has contended that if someone wants to undermine Congress, there's little they can do. And notably, TMC's MPs have also refrained from negative comments about the Congress leaders, Gandhis, or the alliances. Now, TMC has emphasized Adhir's position as a leader of Congress in Lok Sabha, suggesting an endorsement by Congress leadership.
इंडिया जोट तो ममता बनर्जी का नाम पर ही बने थे। ये इंडिया अलायंस नाम ममता बनर्जी ने दिया और उन्होंने चाहती भी है कि इंडिया अलायंस सक्सेस हो। तो सब पार्टी को यही पर्पस होना चाहिए जो बीजेपी को साथ नहीं है कि बीजेपी हटाओ देश बचाओ। तो चीफ मिनिस्टर सही कहा, तुम बंगाल में आते हो, इंडिया अलायंस का एक मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट पार्टनर को स्टेट में आते हो जहां चीफ मिनिस्टर है, उनको साथ तो एक बार बातचीत करके ही आना सबसे अच्छा होते थे। और वाई बंगाल हैज नो मोर प्रायोरिटी फॉर नई यात्रा।
You know, Congress has, is trying since yesterday evening, and today also Jairam Ramesh has requested if Mamata Banerjee could come. What's TMC's reaction to that?
I think we are crystal clear that right from the outset, the premise of the alliance was to defeat BJP, and we repeatedly wanted the talks on seat sharing to close. First we waited till 30th of September. It didn't happen. Then we waited till December 31st. It didn't happen. So I think it's quite late, and the only way Bharatiya Janata Party can be defeated in Bengal is with Trinamool Congress contesting all 42 seats. There are three reasons that the alliance has fallen apart. Number one is Adhir, number two is Adhir, and number three is also Adhir. And it is extremely difficult to understand that why the topmost leaders of the Congress party could not, control this situation. It is very unfortunate.
हर राज्य की अपनी अपनी राजनीतिक परिस्थिति है और उसी के अनुसार फैसले लिए जाएंगे। को जैसा आप बता रहे हैं बंगाल की स्थिति उसी तरह की है। पिछली बार भी हमारा ममता जी के साथ कोई अलायंस नहीं था और शायद वो ममता जी के उनकी जो आगे की रणनीति है उसका ये एक हिस्सा होगा, क्योंकि वो कभी नहीं चाहेंगी कि सारा विपक्ष का वोट वो चला जाए भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पाले में। तो हो सकता है कि एक सोची समझी जिसको कहा जाए कि सोच के तहत ये काम वो कर रही हैं।
Well, this breaking input is coming in from West Bengal, where Kunal Ghosh has mocked Mithun Chakraborty as he's got Padma Bhushan. Now, Kunal Ghosh has took to the microblogging website X and tweeted that Chakraborty got his prize as he changed party from TMC to BJP. So this is a big dig coming in from Kunal Ghosh for Mithun Chakraborty. He suggested that the superstar who's turned into a politician, the Padma Bhushan that has been conferred on him, has this prize he's got after he changed his party from TMC to BJP. Now joining us on the broadcast for more details is our colleague from ground, Kamalika Sengupta. Very good morning, Kamalika. What more details do we have on this dig taken by Kunal Ghosh on Mithun Chakraborty?
See, he has tweeted yesterday night itself, and there he has stated that Mithun Chakraborty has got this as a prize because he has changed party, and Mithun Chakraborty is also a traitor in that way. So he has been felicitated because of that, because he has changed party. So this is a direct hit to Mithun Chakravarti. Mithun Chakravarti, as we know, was also a very prominent member of Trinamool Congress, and he was a Rajya Sabha MP. And then he switched over and he changed his party and he joined BJP, and he campaigned for BJP for 2021 and also after 2021. So this is absolutely a hit from Kunal Ghosh to Mithun Chakraborty, stating that he has got it as a prize of changing party from Trinamool Congress to BJP.
Right, Kamalika, thank you so much for all those details. We'll keep coming back to this story as the day progresses and we get more reactions to Kunal Ghosh's jibe for Mithun Chakraborty, who's been conferred with Padma Bhushan. Now, we are swiftly changing our focus to Gyan Wapi case. Well, in the latest update on the Gyan Wapi case, both Hindu and Muslim sides have received a certified copy of the Archaeological Survey of India survey report. Now, Hindu petitioner Vishnu Shankar Jain disclosed key findings from the survey, indicating the existence of a large Hindu temple at the Gyan Wapi site before the current structure existed. Now, he's also asserted that the same location previously housed a substantial Hindu temple before the construction of the present mosque. Now, Jain has further emphasized that the central structure of the pre-existing temple now serves as the main hall of the existing mosque, significantly impacting the discussions on the site's historical context. Now, in addition, in contrast, the Muslim side has not issued any public statements so far, stating that they require more time to read and understand the entire survey results.
ऐसा ये कह रहा है कि जो पहले का स्ट्रक्चर था एक हिंदू मंदिर का, उसी के पिलर्स को रीयूज यहाँ पे किया गया है, दोबारा इस्तेमाल किया गया। एक प्री एग्जिस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर है। एएसआई ने जो शब्द यूज किया है वो कहा है प्री एग्जिस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर है, उसके ऊपर ही उसी के खंभों को यहाँ पे इस्तेमाल किया गया। इट कैन बी सेड दैट देयर एग्जिस्टेड अ लार्ज हिंदू टेम्पल प्रायर टू द कंस्ट्रक्शन ऑफ एग्जिस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर। एएसआई कह रहा है कि वहाँ पे जो पहले स्ट्रक्चर था जो हिंदू मंदिर का, उसको 17वीं शताब्दी में तोड़ा गया है ड्यूरिंग द रेन ऑफ औरंगजेब, एंड पार्ट ऑफ इट वाज मॉडिफाइड एंड रीयूज्ड इन द एग्जिस्टिंग स्ट्रक्चर। हिंदू मंदिर के ही भग्नावशेष को इस तथाकथित स्ट्रक्चर में यूज किया गया। ये एएसआई की फाइंडिंग बेस्ड ऑन द साइंटिफिक स्टडीज सर्वे कैरिड आउट, स्टडी ऑफ आर्किटेक्चर रिमेन्स, एक्सपोज फीचर एंड आर्टिफैक्ट्स, इंस्क्रिप्शंस, आर्ट एंड स्कल्पचर्स, इट कैन बी सेड दैट देयर एग्जिस्टेड अ हिंदू टेम्पल prior to the construction of existing structure। उस वजू टैंक में जो हमारे बाबा हैं, जो शिवलिंग है, वहाँ पे एएसआई सर्वे की हमारी मांग रहेगी और उस मांग को लेके हम न्यायालय के सामने जाएंगे।
देखिए, ज्ञान व्यापी की जो रिपोर्ट आई है अभी तो बहुत 1500 पेज की है जी। मैंने पूरी पढ़ी नहीं है पर जितना अभी तक संक्षेप में जिसको बोलते हैं उसको मैं बता सकता हूँ, और जो जिस्ट है वही अपने आप में काफ़ी है। निचोड़ जिसको बोलते हैं, पहला ये है कि एक हिंदू मंदिर तोड़कर प्रेजेंट स्ट्रक्चर बनाया गया है। नंबर 2, जो पश्चिमी दीवार है वो 5000 साल लगभग पुरानी है और हिंदू मंदिर की है, और उस पर हिंदू देवी देवताओं की मूर्तियाँ और स्ट्रक्चर खुदे हुए हैं। इंस्क्रिप्शन नंबर 3, इंस्क्रिप्शन मिले हैं जो तेलुगु लैंग्वेज में है, कन्नड़ लैंग्वेज में है, और उस लैंग्वेज में है जो कि इस्लाम वाले जानते भी नहीं थे और उनमें आ भी नहीं सकता है।
Well, with all those news and updates, it's a wrap from our side. Stay informed and stay safe. Thanks for watching.
On the show today, Ananya Pandey talks about some serious acting, money matters and the success of a film Kho Gaye Hum Kahan. On his 79th birthday, Subhash Ghai talks about the heroes of his films and their connection with Lord Krishna. From being betrayed by industry insiders to drop from a film at the last minute, Raveena Tandon makes some big revelations about the film industry. And meet Trinetra Haldar Gummaraju, the winner of CNN News 18's Indian of the Year Youth Icon Jury Award.
Can you please just tell me कि ब्रेक लेने का क्या मतलब है? बस ये मत बोलना कि तुम मुझसे बोर हो गए हो या तुम्हें कोई और चाहिए. मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा कि तुम क्या चाहते हो.
Hi Ananya, welcome to News 18. Thank you. All the love that's coming your way, very well deserved, and more power to you. Have you had the chance to celebrate that?
Yes. I mean, I think after the release, we all just collectively felt so proud and so happy. Yeah, I think I celebrated it by disconnecting a little bit. I think that's the best way to celebrate a film like this, is to just reboot and reflect on your life and spend time with your tribe. I think that's my celebration and my ode to the film in my personal life also.
Wow, it's very interesting what you said, because if you can share, that is, you know, the conclusion that you perhaps came down to after a lot of reboot and unwinding.
I think it's our attachment to things in life. We're so like connected to our phones and to like materialistic things. Like yesterday I just cleaned out my closet and I was like, I've just cluttered my life and just kept so many things. And actually, if you have to come down to it, it's a very small example, but if you have to come down to it, I think valuing what's truly important, because we feel like we're so connected because we're seeing what's happening in people's life. Like, oh, I know that, you know, you went here and you went there, so I feel like I know everything about you. But actually, I could not know anything at all about what's happening in your life, what you're really feeling, what you're really going through. And sometimes we mistake friendships and connections for these interactions on social media, but actually, sometimes you just need to switch off and actually have a conversation with the person.
Ananya, you know, I remember reading this interview of yours from a few years back where you said that, you know, I want to be taken seriously as an actor. With the now, you know, the reviews, the, you know, the love that's coming your way, people are hailing your acting chops, which is great, I think, for you. But how validating is it?
It is. It's extremely validating, and it's very assuring as an actor for people to like your work, and it's what I've always worked towards. So it feels like finally the fruit of, you know, the hard work and the dedication and the love is finally, you know, it's bearing that fruit finally. So it feels good. But for me, I think what's most important is that people relate to the character in some way, that they forget that they're watching Ananya, that it's not Ananya anymore, and they see themselves somewhere in the character, or the character provides them comfort in some way. I think that's been the best response for me when it comes to this film. Yeah.
Did the wait, you know, to land a role or a film like this make you impatient, frustrated ever in these 4 years?
Honestly, the story of how I landed this film is very funny, because I'd heard that this film was being made because I was shooting with Sid for Gehraiyan at that time, and we were in Goa. And he was telling me that, you know, this film is there, I'm doing it, and he told me the story, and I was like, shit, like I really want to be a part of this film, like it sounds so exciting. I didn't know how to like get into it.
Right.
So Arjun, the director, was coming to Goa to narrate the film to Sid. And I heard he was coming, and also I dressed up like a tomboy. I dressed up like what Ahana would be. I wore these basketball shorts and this ganji, and I was like, guys, let's go play football. And I became like one of the bros, and he was like, wow, like she's exactly like Ahana, like let's audition her. And then I auditioned for the film, and then luckily I got the film, because whenever I've done a film for not the right reasons, it's not worked out for me. So I think it's best for me to follow my gut, follow my instinct, take my time, work on myself in that period, get better, keep honing my craft, learning new things, traveling, talking to people, you know, doing that riyaz as an actor in a way, so that when the opportunity presents itself, like it did with Ahana, it just felt like the right time. Like I was just like waiting for that and just ready for that, you know. So to just be open for when something good comes my way, but not seek it out. Yeah.
Okay, tell me one misconception that you think people have about you.
You know, whenever I tell people that I love reading, they get really shocked. They're like, you read? I'm like, yeah, I love, like, it's my favorite thing to do is sitting in the corner and reading a book.
Okay.
Like, I remember on Gehraiyan, I used to like read on set, and Shakur and all used to start laughing, and they were like, you're not actually reading and all. I'm like, I love reading, guys.
All right. Okay. One thing you wish you could change about yourself.
My constant need for seeking validation, very similar to Ahana actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. खो गए हम कहाँ और गहराइयाँ.
Can't make me choose between my two children. No, I can't choose.
You can't choose.
Call me Bay.
Very smart. Okay. Okay. If you could borrow one thing from the following people, what would it be? Okay. Siddhant Chaturvedi.
His ability to like work with a crowd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Karan Johar.
The gift of the gab.
Ah,
Yeah.
lovely. Okay. Ori.
The perfect selfie always.
Yes. Okay. And last one, Deepika Padukone.
Deepika, the South Indian food in our house.
Ah, okay. Okay, the last one. One meaty role that has positively impacted your career, whether that, but with less money or the vice versa.
No. My dad will be disappointed with this answer, but the meaty role and the less money. I'll do brands and makeup.
Oh, lovely. How
Yeah.
smart.
Subhashji, a very happy birthday to you. You turned 79th on January 24th. You are 79-year young today. You, of course, have spent close to 50 years in the industry. How do you look back at your film journey, sir?
जब आपने मेरी उम्र की बात की और आपने ओल्ड और यंग की बात की, तो मैं वहीं से शुरू करता हूँ. जो युवा हैं वो कैलेंडर के सालों से नहीं जाना चाहता, वो अपनी मानसिकता से जाना चाहता है, उसकी अलर्टनेस से, कितनी उसकी अवेकनिंग है, कितनी जिज्ञासा है. वो जो युवक है वो हमेशा ज़िंदा रहता है. तो बूढ़ा उम्र में नहीं होता, दिमाग से होता है. और मैं खुशकिस्मत हूँ, ब्लेस्ड हूँ कि आज भी मैं युवा माना जाता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं युवकों में रहता हूँ और मैं कल के ही बारे में सोचता हूँ और आज के बारे में सोचता हूँ.
You know, family values आपकी फिल्म का core strength रही है. Do you think that came from a personal space because while growing up your mother told you कि in difficult time Subhash stay strong, and because the mother has been a very strong factor in all your films.
जी, क्योंकि मेरी ज़िंदगी में भी मेरी मदर जो हैं वो बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग फैक्टर रही हैं मुझे बड़ा करने में, बचपन में समझाने में, मेरे रोने में, मेरे हंसने में, मेरी वैल्यूज़ में. मेरी फिल्मों में भी माँ का एक बहुत बड़ा एक महत्वपूर्ण रोल होता है पूरे परिवार को, बिकॉज शी इज़ अ यूनिफायर. द मदर इज़ द बेस्ट थिंग टू हैपन इन दिस वर्ल्ड. चाहे वो क्रीचर्स में हो, चाहे पशु पक्षियों में हो, चाहे इंसान में हो, माँ से बढ़ के कोई चीज़ है ही नहीं दुनिया में. अगर आप उसको फॉलो करते हैं ध्यान से तो आप अपनी सोसाइटी में, अपने समाज में ही इज्जत पा सकते हैं, नहीं तो नहीं पा सकते.
Shashank Khaitan, who directed films like Badrinath Ki Dulhaniya and Humpty Sharma Ki Dulhaniya, and he has actually assisted you on 2 films. So he told us that all Subhash Ghai heroes have shades of Lord Krishna. He said he should be naughty, he should be playful, he should be a savior, he should respect his mom and even the stepmom. Do you agree that all your heroes have shades of Krishna?
बिल्कुल, क्योंकि मेरी माँ ने कृष्ण के बारे में और मैंने गीता बहुत पढ़ी थी और पूरा मैंने रामायण गीता काफ़ी अध्ययन किया था बचपन से. तो जो कृष्ण का जो कैरेक्टर है, अगर आप देखें, पहले तो जो गीता है और जो महाभारत है वो एक टाइमलेस प्ले है. अगर कृष्ण जी को भी आप देखें, श्री कृष्ण जी को भी देखें, तो ही इज़ ए टाइमलेस फिलोसोफर. वो तक उन जैसा कैरेक्टर कभी हमारे जीवन में आ जाए तो हम अपने आप को संपूर्ण समझेंगे. वॉरियर कृष्ण जी, फिलोसोफर कृष्ण जी, रोमांटिक कृष्ण जी, म्यूजिशियन फ्लूटिस्ट कृष्ण जी, यू सी, एंड हेल्पर कृष्ण जी, फ्रेंड कृष्ण जी, किंग कृष्ण जी, पुअर कृष्ण. अगर आप देखो तो उसमें अंदर मल्टी फेसेड क्वालिटीज़ हैं एक ही कैरेक्टर में. तो जो हमारे हीरो का फिल्म है जैकी श्रॉफ, वो भी कृष्ण है, वो भी फ्लूट बजाता है. उसके जीवन में ऐसी ट्रेजेडी हो गई कि वो उसको एक विलन के यहाँ नीचे काम करना पड़ा, लेकिन उसका दिल जो था वो श्री कृष्ण का यहाँ, इसीलिए उसको हीरो कहा गया. इसीलिए उसको एक पुलिस ऑफिसर की बेटी या पुलिस वाले जो खानदान था वो भी एक बार झुक गया उसके सामने.
आपने सौदागर की बात की. लेट्स स्टार्ट. 2 of the biggest stars, दिलीप कुमार एंड राजकुमार, You have said in one of your interviews that Saudagar taught you how to manage the egos of two big actors.
देखिए, चाहे वो दिलीप कुमार हों या राजकुमार हों या आज के स्टार हों, चाहे वो शाहरुख खान हो या सलमान हो, मैं समझता हूँ कि जितने भी एक्टर्स हैं वो बच्चों की तरह होते हैं और एज डायरेक्टर आप एक मदर की तरह हैं। अब आपके 4 बच्चे हैं, एक उदंड है, एक स्टूडियोस है, एक भोला है, एक शरारती है, तब चारों को संभालती है ना एज ए मदर। कैसे संभालती हैं? माँ से बड़ा कोई भी जो मैनेजमेंट कर सकता है 4 अलग अलग बच्चों को, वो कोई नहीं कर सकता। तो डायरेक्टर का भी ये ड्यूटी होती है कि एज ए मदर यू बिहेव लाइक ए मदर और उनको उतना ही प्यार दो, क्योंकि बच्चे एक्टर्स जो हैं इनसिक्योर होते हैं कि पता नहीं मैं ठीक कर पाऊँगा नहीं कर पाऊँगा, शायद मेरे को एटीट्यूड दिखाना चाहिए, शायद मेरे को अपना ब्रांड मेंटेन करना चाहिए। ये सब अजीब सी उल जलूल सी बातें उसके दिमाग में आती रहती हैं और आप उसके फेस को रीड करते रहते हैं कि इसका क्या मूड है। आप उसके मूड के हिसाब से उसको चलाते रहते हैं कि भैया देखो अल्टीमेटली शॉट मेरा अच्छा दे देना, बाकी जो तू कह रहा है वो सही कह रहा है, तू सबसे बेस्ट तू ही है। सौदागर में भी यही सलाह दिलीप साहब को मैं कहता था, जब मुझे पता लगा कि दिलीप साहब और राजकुमार साहब की नहीं बनती है तो मैंने एक ही फार्मूला अपनाया। दिलीप साहब को कहता था कि राज जी आपके काम की बहुत तारीफ़ कर रहे थे, राज जी को कहता था कि दिलीप साहब आपकी बहुत तारीफ़ कर रहे थे। तो जब वो मिलते थे तो एक पॉजिटिविटी फीलिंग के साथ मिलते थे और अच्छा काम हो जाता था।
बट सुभाष जी, सब देखना चाहेंगे, आपने यू हैव डायरेक्टेड द बिगेस्ट स्टार्स, सब जानना चाहते हैं कि सुभाष जी ने कभी अमिताभ बच्चन के साथ फिल्म क्यों नहीं बनाई?
ये मेरा दुर्भाग्य है कि मैंने अमिताभ बच्चन साहब के साथ पिक्चर नहीं बना सका। मैंने बहुत से अच्छे एक्टर्स हैं जिनके
आपने अनाउंस करी थी एक फिल्म?
हाँ, मैंने एक शुरू की थी, वो दुर्भाग्यवश नहीं बन सकी। पर ये तकदीर में भी लिखा होता है। जैसे मैं अमिताभ साहब के साथ हमेशा पिक्चर करना चाहता हूँ। शबाना आज़मी दूसरी एक एक्टर हैं जिनके साथ मैं हमेशा चाहता था कि इनके साथ एक पिक्चर करूँ, क्योंकि मैं उनका बहुत बड़ा फ़ैन हूँ, मैं उनकी परफॉर्मेंस का, उनके टैलेंट का। ऐसे और भी बहुत से एक्टर हैं जिनके साथ मैं आज भी काम करना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन कहानी होनी चाहिए। इच्छा तो मेरी अभी भी ऐसे ही नहीं कि सबके साथ मैं काम कर चुका हूँ, ऐसा नहीं है।
Things have happened to me that I've been getting ready for a Muhurat in the evening. The stylist is in my house in the morning, and suddenly in the afternoon I get a call and say, "Sorry, but you're not there in the. You're not in the film."
This is Indrani Kothari,
90s Bollywood queen, and now Alibag की राजमाता.
मैं इतनी आसानी से माफ नहीं करती, न दोस्तों को न दुश्मनों को.
This is karma calling. Let's talk about karma. And it's said that whatever you do, it comes right back to bite you. Is that something that all of you believe in?
Well, I strongly do. I think it might take time, but there is justice, and there is definitely karma that works in and around you, and it's the vibrations that you put out ultimately come back to bite you. So it's something that you have to face the consequences of your own actions ultimately.
Yeah, and I think that it's not it may not happen. It's not like I do something to you and you do something to me and that's my karma. It can happen 10 years down the line. Somebody else, teaches me the lesson that I was meant to learn that day. So I think that the universe has a funny way of making everybody sort of pay for their actions, good and bad.
I feel a lot of times you'll feel ki if somebody's done bad to you and they are doing great in life, you feel why with me? That person is doing great. He did such a wrong thing to, or she did such a wrong thing to me. But eventually what they said that universe in its own way will punish them and give it back to them. So in whatever magnitude.
So this show is, of course, there's a lot of glitz and glamour that we see, but there's also this underlying themes of, deceit and betrayal. Betrayal might be a very heavy word for what I'm going to ask you next, but have you ever felt that, in your acting careers, maybe, the last moment you were perhaps dropped from a project or something like that?
No, of course you feel betrayal is a very strong word. I don't think you ever feel betrayed or anything like that. It's also part of the process. You audition for many things, you don't get a lot of parts. But I really think that the ones that are meant to come to you eventually come to you, and it may take long. A part that you deserve or an opportunity that you deserve will come to you when you're ready for it. Sometimes you may really want it very badly, but maybe you're not ready. And if it had come to you that time, it wouldn't be as fruitful. So you have to sort of take things as they come, not get bogged down by anything too much, because you have to remember that if you've worked hard, the opportunity will come eventually. And that's up to the universe.
Yes. Do you want to add something?
No, I totally agree with what she's saying, because when the time is right, things will fall into place. And but yes, there have been betrayals. I mean, I have had a longer career span than hers. There will be times where there will be betrayal. There will be, you'll be signed on and everything, and some people you think who are your friends will be waiting to stab you in the back, like what our show talks about. And then suddenly you'll be like, I mean, things have happened to me that I've been getting ready for a Mahurat in the evening. The stylist is in my house in the morning, and suddenly in the afternoon I get a call and say, sorry, but you're not there in the, you're not in the film. And for reasons which are completely out of jealousy or insecurity from probably another actress or some connections, or when people use that camp thing, and that used to happen a lot earlier. I'm hoping that yes, people are definitely much more professional now. But these betrayals still happen. In fact, I was just recently seeing an old interview of another actor, and she was saying the same, that it was out of the blue and it did hurt at that time, and suddenly I was told I'm not doing these 4 films with this person. And so these things do happen, that you do sign, and sometimes politics plays, sometimes the petty politics or insecurities, but then it's what you take in your stride, and that's what forms you as a person, because then you realize that is not what you should be doing. You realize a lesson from that's exactly what you don't want to be. Is be like them, because then when you see in the longer run and you see today, those people are nowhere.
At the trailer launch, you had said that the show was offered to you about a decade back, but back then you couldn't do it because your son was, I think, born. So now that, 10 years later, a lot has changed. That show was, I think, originally made for TV. At that time, this role that you're playing perhaps could have been, labeled as a vamp, but today, because of, more nuanced and rich storytelling, you are the protagonist. So are you happy that, the show has happened actually at the right time?
जैसे कि मैंने कहा, मुझे लगता है हर चीज का एक समय होता है, और वो उस समय पे एक चीज जब चलती है तो फिर आपको लगता है कि हाँ, नाउ द टाइम इज राइट. पर मुझे जब एक चीज किसी को कन्विंस करनी पड़ती है ना करने के लिए, तब मुझे डेफिनेटली सिग्नल होता है नहीं, दिस इज नॉट द टाइम. मुझे एक इंस्टेंट गो पे अगर मैं हाँ बोल दूं किसी भी चीज के लिए, मतलब वो चीज हो रही है. एंड जहां ऐसे होता है कि नहीं कर लो, ये ऐसे कर लेंगे वैसे कर लेंगे, और कोई मुझे कन्विंस करने की कोशिश करता है, देन इट्स अ डेफिनेट नो फ्रॉम माय साइड. सो व्हेन दिस केम टू मी अर्लियर, देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स दैट वर देयर कि ओके सो मेनी डेज, ऐसा ये होगा रोल, ये होगा वो होगा, व्हिच डिडंट वर्क फॉर मी. सो आई न्यू कि नहीं, दिस इज नॉट द टाइम फॉर दिस, बट द रोल वाज ऑलवेज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. और जब ये अब हुआ इस दौर पे, जब आपने जैसे कि कहा कि अब नुआंस कैरेक्टर्स इतने हैं, आज एंटी हीरो भी हीरो हैं जी, तो जिस तरीके से फिल्में भी कर रहे हैं अब हम लोग, तो डेफिनेटली दिस इज द टाइम जहाँ एक अवेयरनेस भी पड़ी है, स्टीरियोटाइपिंग कम हो गया है, एंड आप एक खुल के एक्सपेरिमेंट कर सकते हैं हर एक कैरेक्टर के साथ.
कर्मों से डरिए, ईश्वर से नहीं. ईश्वर माफ कर देता है, कर्म कभी नहीं.
The year 2023, youth icon Dr. Trinetra Haldar Gumaraju.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Dr. Trinetra Haldar Gumaraju.
Hi Trinetra.
Hello.
I want to congratulate you for winning this award, Youth Icon. What does Youth Icon mean to you? I mean, how do you feel after winning this award, after all the recognition that you've been receiving, especially in the last year?
I somehow find the idea of calling myself an icon a little cringe, but since you're doing it, it's fine. I never started doing any of what I do because I wanted to be an icon. I was just trying to be myself. I was trying to put my story out there and pursue a career in medicine. And acting happened to be this thing that came my way, and I really enjoyed it. And not that it was easy, but I think being a youth icon means someone who knows her responsibility in society and is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that people from your community, people that you represent, people that perhaps didn't have as much luck that I did, an opportunity that I did, those people also have visibility, you know. I think for me that's what's most important, no matter what, whether it's medicine, whether I go back, don't go back, continue here. It's about that. It's for the kids, and it's for a future where we can exist freely.
We see the brighter side of this. You have had your journey. As a cishet woman, I have faced so much struggles in my life. I can't even begin to imagine what you must have been through. I mean, I really want to ask you this. From where do you derive the strength? You must require this this reserves of inner courage. How do you get them?
I cry a lot. I think it's really important to be in touch with your emotions. You know, I grew up being told by my father, by society to man up because I was the firstborn son, etc., etc. And for the longest time, that's what you're conditioned to believe, no? That you're not allowed to show emotion and you have to toughen up. That's been one of the most beautiful things about growing into my womanhood. Yeah. Being in touch with my emotions. You have to, the only way through a really hard time, the only way around a really hard time is through it. You know, you just have to be able to power through it while feeling everything in that moment. So yeah, it's not been easy. I'm sure you would say the same, that any woman, whether cis or trans, knows what it's like to live in this society, particularly in medicine or entertainment, both industries being heavily male dominated. Yeah, cry.
We could do a Mughal wedding to commemorate how you guys met.
We have to mention Made in Heaven season 2 because that is the one thing that made you break into the scene. Like before that, I knew that there existed a Dr. Trinetra who has done so much, but I think so many people took notice of you after that. And you also mentioned while receiving the award that earlier people thought that trans women didn't belong to rooms like this.
Yeah.
When I saw the poster of the show, I don't know how many people realize the gravity that a trans woman was playing a trans woman and she was one of the main leads and she was featured on the poster. How has the journey been? And how thankful are you to Zoya Akhtar and the creators of the show?
Immensely, because I think when I started out with that project, the poster, billboard, these things didn't matter to me at all, right? I barely even looked across those things in the literature and the material, but just the idea that, you know, a trans woman could exist alongside these incredibly talented actors and not be a sob story and not be something that is pitied or something that is a, you know, something to ridicule. The
Where was the best character in season 2? The best.
Just the idea that, you know, someone could be normal, quote unquote, and I don't mean the way that she looked, but the fact that she had human emotions like everybody else, that she had heartbreak, she had pain, but she also had incredible joy and success in her career, and those are things that are very, very human and everyone aspires to, and that's what I mean by normal, you know. The journey of it was rough because it was very long. It was 3 years long. COVID happened in between, and it was rough because I was jumping back and forth the hospital and the set, right? Because I was also doing my internship at the same time. But once it was done, once I moved here and the billboards went up, that was something. Because many parents of queer kids were in my DMs saying thank you, because now we get to show an image of normalcy to the family and to our kids, so they know that things can be better. So that's big. Like I said, it's about the kids, always.
Yeah, with that, I want to thank you again for being with us, doing this with us, and congratulations again for winning the Youth Icon.
Such a pretty trophy also.
Yes, and you deserve it, truly. When you were on the stage, I had tears in my eyes. I literally had. And I just want to tell you, you're lovely, you're doing awesome work, and just thank you from everybody, not just from your community, but from mankind, I think.
Wow.
Thank you.
Namaste, good morning viewers. Hello and welcome to the morning news show on CNN News 18. As we gear up for the grand celebration of 75th Republic Day of Bharat. From all women tri-services groups to a stunning showcase of saris this Republic Day, we promise to be truly spectacular in our showcase. Let's dive in. Well, India marks its 75th Republic Day today with French President Emmanuel Macron as the chief guest of the parade. The themes for this year are Viksit Bharat and Bharat Loktantra Ki Matruka. The parade will commence from Vijay Chowk and conclude at Kartavya Path, showcasing vibrant tableaus representing each state's cultural and development achievements. Military contingents will add grandeur, and the Indian Air Force's awe-inspiring flypast will highlight the nation's air prowess. Now, the 2024 Republic Day celebrations promise a visual feast, serving a memorable tribute to India's rich tapestry embodying unity, diversity and progress. Well, on the eve of Republic Day, there was work as usual on the line of control for the Indian Army. The celebrations were less, but the morale and guard were high. CNN News 18's Ishan Wani travelled to Kupwara sector to bring us this ground report. Let's take a look.
CNN News 18 has today travelled several kilometers from Srinagar to Kupwara, where we are at a high altitude area, and my VJ Bashir Lone will give an idea where we are standing. On the eve of Republic Day, how do the forces maintain a tight vigil and how do they patrol the line of control? Today we are going to show you and demonstrate to you that how forces are keeping a tight vigil at a high altitude area around the line of control in Titwal of Kupwara.
For these men, the terrain is difficult but not insurmountable. They walk through the steep and rocky terrain day in and day out. Their eyes are searching for any movement close to the fence here in North Kashmir's Kupwara. Every move must be taken with caution. At this altitude, one slip can be fatal. The Indian Army has an advantage thanks to its modern equipment and weaponry. Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed a deficit snowfall, which means infiltration is possible, and the only way to fend off a cunning opponent in Tangdhar is to maintain a 24-hour watch.
Challenges अपनी जगह हैं, but हमारी आर्मी फिजिकली और मेंटली फिट है. हमारा मोराल और जोश बिल्कुल हाई है, और जो हमें न्यू जनरेशन वेपन और इक्विपमेंट जो मिले हैं, उनकी मदद से ये सारी जो हमारी ड्रिल्स हैं और जो सारी हमारी जो कार्रवाइयाँ हैं जो हमें यहाँ करनी पड़ती हैं, वो हम बहुत आसानी से और बहुत ही बखूबी निभा पाते हैं.
The smuggling of drugs, weapons and ammunition into the Kashmir Valley has decreased as a result of the installation of a layered security system along the line of control. Amid low visibility and no snow, the alert is double. On Republic Day, there is an extra vigil and a little time to celebrate.
पूरा देश हर्षोल्लास के साथ मना रहा है और हमने भी हर्षोल्लास के साथ मनाया है. हमारे साथ पीछे सरहद के गांव हैं, हम वहां जाते हैं, वहां झंडा फहराते हैं, मिठाइयां बांटते हैं, और जो हमारे साथ जो साथी जवान हैं वहां भी बिल्कुल हर्षोल्लास के साथ 26 जनवरी मनाते हैं.
While the nation is busy celebrating Republic Day, here at the line of control is day as usual. There are minimum celebrations, but day goes as usual. You can see behind me, there are Indian Army men guarding this fence, which is located at a very high altitude. This is a fence which is there to obstruct any infiltration, and anyone trying to infiltrate here would be shot down. They are again maintaining a high vigil on these specific days in these areas where there has been a very less snow, or there has been no snow at all. There are chances of infiltration. To avoid them, they keep maintaining tight vigil and ensure that the nation remains safe on the eve of Republic Day or any other day. With Bashir Lone, Ishan Wani from Kupwara for CNN News 18.
Well, let's take you closer to the action on the ground, and joining us live on the broadcast is our colleague Akash. A very good morning, Akash. You're joining us live from South Campus in Delhi. What is the mood like on the ground? And behind you, I can see a lot of security personnel. What is the situation?
Good morning, Kuhina. Happy Republic Day to you and to all our viewers. And yes, behind me is the security check that is happening, and Delhi police personnel are basically deployed in this particular area to check the vehicles that are entering in the central Delhi area. We know that parade will be starting from 10:30, and ahead of that, security aspect is one crucial aspect, and Delhi police personnel have been deployed since early morning, and they are checking every vehicle that is passing by. They are checking the passes. They are checking whether or not the people are authorized to enter in this particular area. Pradeep Das ji will show you visual on the other side. We are having fog in the areas, and temperatures, minimum temperature is somewhere around 6 to 7 degrees, and that is the reason they have all sort of arrangements, chai ki vyavastha and all these things are there, and these police personnel are basically deployed here in this particular area to check every authorized entry, and they are only allowing those who are authorized to enter in this particular area. This day is very important, Kuhina. You see, 75th Republic Day, where we are going to see a number of crucial elements. This is happening for the first time when 100 women will be heralding the parade. This is for the first time when LCA Tejas formation will be seen. This is for the first time when a number of indigenous elements, indigenous platforms, indigenous equipments will be seen under the mechanized column of Indian Army. For the first time when a tri-services all-women contingent will be seen. For the first time when Agniveer from all three forces are taking part. Nari Shakti will be seen at Kartavya Path, and at 10:30 when this parade will be starting, the President of France is the chief guest. Emmanuel Macron was in Jaipur yesterday, and today he is the chief guest, and this is the reason why we have French contingent taking part. Two Rafale from France, also one transport aircraft from France will be a very part of Republic Day. But once again, if I can show you the visuals, Pradeep Das ji is showing you that how Delhi police is deployed. Delhi police is in fact checking all the vehicles that are passing by from this particular area. 10:30 is the time we will be seeing Prime Minister Narendra Modi visiting to National War Memorial, and in fact all these formalities that generally happen, and from 10:30 around 90 minutes the parade and all the formations will be seen, and after 90 minutes this event will be culminated. 75th Republic Day, India is basically celebrating the democracy, and this particular year we have theme as Bharat Loktantra ki Matrika and Viksit Bharat. As I mentioned earlier, Nari Shakti will be somewhere seen, and everyone is waiting for this momentous occasion, Kuhina.
Right, Akash. Thank you so much for bringing in all those details from the ground. That was Akash getting us more details of the beefed security and the vehicular movement in Delhi. While moving our focus now, the Union government on Thursday released the list of winners of the Padma Awards 2024, the nation's second highest civilian honor. The prestigious awards conferred by the Government of India recognize exceptional contributions in various fields. CNN News 18's Payal Mehta with more details.
On the pre-eve of Republic, the Government of India has made an announcement as far as the Padma Awards is concerned. This includes Padma Shri Awards for 110. 17 have been Padma Vibhushan Awards that have been announced, and 5 have been announced as the Padma Vibhushan Awards. Amongst the Padma Vibhushan awardees are popular actor Chiranjeevi, and of course the noted actor of the yesteryears Vajayanti Mala Bali. Apart from that, Padma Shri Subramaniam, noted dancer from Tamil Nadu, has also been given a Padma Vibhushan Award, and so has the same been given to former Vice President of India and former Union Minister M. Venkaiah Naidu as well. As far as the Padma Bhushan Awards are concerned, we see quite a few names feature on this list as well, including yesteryear actor and popular actor turned politician Mithun Chakravarti, actor turned politician Captain Vijaykanth, and also what we have seen on this list is popular singer Usha Uthup is featured on this particular list as well. As far as the Padma Vibhushan Awards are concerned, the government has given out these names as well, but what we do notice is that out of the 5 Padma Vibhushan awardees, 4 hail from the southern part of the country. That is something which has been spotted as well. As far as these announcements are concerned, the government has also ensured that they give recognition to a lot of people who worked exceptionally in various fields but have been unsung heroes as well. And this has been a trademark as far as the Narendra Modi government is concerned when they keep announcing such names.
After hearing this news, I became speechless. I'm really overwhelmed. I'm humbled and grateful for this honor. It's only the unconditional and invaluable love of the people, audiences, my fans, my blood brothers and blood sisters that allowed me to reach here. I owe my life and this moment to you. I always try to express my gratitude in ways that I can, though I know I can never do enough.
Well, this breaking input is pertinent to the seat sharing concerns and the conflict in INDIA bloc. Now, according to the Congress sources, Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge has reached out to INDIA bloc leaders in Bihar along with West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee, requesting them to join Bharat Jodo Yatra, Nyaya Yatra. Now, Kharge has also requested Lalu and JDU to join the joint rally in Bihar scheduled on 30th of January. So these are the latest developments that we've been getting in. Mallikarjun Kharge, Congress President, has reached out to the INDIA bloc leaders, requesting them to join the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra and the joint rally in Bihar that has been scheduled for 30th of January. Now, joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Pallavi. A very good morning, Pallavi. Do these developments indicate a potential rift within the INDI bloc, and do we expect Mamata Banerjee to be joining in the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra anytime soon?
You know, that really seems very, very difficult at this point of time, Kuhina, because if you look at the war of words between the TMC and the Congress, it's got really acrimonious. From, for example, the TMC accusing Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of being an agent of the BJP, to Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary calling Derek O'Brien a foreigner. I think it's just almost impossible that the two of them can come together. Bihar is a worrying sign because in Bihar there is no clarity yet whether Nitish Kumar is going to hop across to the BJP, and it's also a prestige issue because on 30th was planned a joint rally of the alliance, that is JDU plus Congress plus RJD. Nitish Kumar has so far given no confirmation of joining that rally, and this appeal which has gone in from the Congress president is both to the TMC as well as to Nitish Kumar that please let's all come together for the rally, for the yatra, because that will send out a message that we are all in it together.
Right, Pallavi, thank you so much for all those details. We'll keep coming back to this story as the day progresses and we get more reactions to this request that has been levelled by the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge for all the INDIA bloc leaders, requesting them to join the Bharat Jodo Nyaya Yatra. Now, we are swiftly moving our focus to another breaking news. Well, according to the BJP sources, in yesterday's meeting, opinions were taken from BJP Bihar leaders, and the leaders were asked how much benefit or loss will there be by keeping Nitish Kumar and his party JDU on their side. So these are the latest inputs that we've been getting in. BJP top brass had held a meeting yesterday in Bihar where how much benefit or loss will there be by keeping Nitish Kumar and his party JDU on their side were assessed. Now, profit and loss were assessed in yesterday's meeting. Now, joining us live on the broadcast is our colleague Saurabh. A very good morning, Saurabh. What more details do we have about this important and very crucial meeting of BJP in Bihar?
Good morning to all of our viewers. Kohina, this is the exclusive piece of information that we have got exclusively from BJP sources, and they have said that in the meeting that took place yesterday where BJP President Samrat Chaudhary as well as the former Deputy Chief Ministers Renu Devi and Tarkishore Prasad, Sushil Modi, all these leaders were present there. In fact, Vinod Tavre and Mr. Dalsania and some other leaders were also there, and they met with Amit Shah and and in that particular meeting, two things that were discussed was one, that what will be the repercussion if they bring Nitish Kumar and JDU into their side again, and the other thing that we know is that the thing that discussed was that what will be the advantage and disadvantage of conducting Lok Sabha elections and Bihar election, which is due for next year, together. So these two points were discussed, and the leaders of Bharatiya Janata Party from Bihar, they gave their opinion. What opinion they give, we couldn't gather that information, but certainly this two information that we managed to get with a great difficulty, because nobody was speaking after coming out from Amit Shah's residence. Remember, Samrat Chaudhary and other leaders came out early. Vinod Tavre and Mr. Dalsania came out after 20 minutes of a meeting. So after that, we tried speaking with these leaders, but nobody spoke. But somehow late at night we got information that there was a discussion, and the advantages, the profit and loss were discussed of joining, of taking JDU as an ally again. So these information that we managed to get for our viewers, we are saying right now. Koina.
Right, Saurabh. Thank you so much for all those details. We'll keep coming back to this story as the day progresses. Now we are swiftly moving our focus to another breaking news that we are getting in, and this is international breaking info. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin has praised PM Modi, and he said, we have a very good relation with India, and India is making progress under the PM Modi regime. So these are the latest inputs that we've been getting in. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin has praised PM Modi. Let's take a look at the reactions on this.
That's because we have very, very good relationships with India, and it dates back quite a while, decades ago. Dates back for decades, and many remember that the Soviet Union and India were allies, and the Soviet Union supported India's fight for independence and supported India in the first steps of their statehood, and India has made amazing progress under the governance of Prime Minister Mr. Modi, and his motto, make it in India, manufacture in India.
Well, Russian President Vladimir Putin has heaped praises on PM Modi, and he said that we have a very good relation with India, and India is making progress under the PM Modi's regime, and his motto, make it in India, manufacture in India, is also succeeding. So these are the latest inputs that we've been getting in. Russian President Vladimir Putin has once again praised PM Modi. He said that we have a very good relation with India, and India is making progress under the PM Modi regime. Now, joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Siddhant. A very good morning, Siddhant. What more details do we have about this statement coming in from the Russian president for PM Modi?
Well, look, this is perhaps not for the first time. In fact, in last 3-4 months, President Putin has spoken good about India's growth trajectory. President Putin has also appreciated the efforts that Prime Minister Modi is making to perhaps the kind of contributions, the way India is growing. He has always spoken about it, and he has said that he's a great admirer of India's growth trajectory and India's growth story. Perhaps the same has again been reiterated by President Putin. In fact, if you remember, in the month of January, EM Jaishankar was in Russia. In fact, EM Jaishankar called on President Putin, and at that point in time also, EM Jaishankar carried personal message of Prime Minister Modi for President Putin. In fact, given the political situation in both the countries, both leaders are expected to meet later this year, point number one. Point number two, is that the kind of relations that Russia and India enjoy, and the kind of understanding between the two leaders and the nation, and also the people-to-people ties, is something which both nations cherish. And President Putin has always been an admirer of Prime Minister Modi's work, and again he has reiterated the same in one of his public engagements. Back to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Siddhant, for all those details. We'll keep coming back to this story as the day progresses and we get more reactions to this. But now we are swiftly moving our focus to another breaking input. Now, this is pertaining to the Gyan Wapi controversy. Well, Owaisi has slammed ASI report on the Gyan Wapi case, and he's claimed it wouldn't stand academic scrutiny before any set of professional archaeologists or historians. He's further called ASI the handmaiden of Hindutva. So these are the latest details we've been getting in. Owaisi has technically taken a dig and slammed the ASI report on Gyan Wapi, claiming that it wouldn't stand any academic scrutiny before any set of professional archaeologists or historians. He's further called ASI the handmaiden of Hindutva. So these are the latest inputs that we've been getting in. This is a strong remark coming in from AIMIM chief on the ASI report that we had received quite fairly recently. Now, according to this report, Owaisi has completely slammed the report, suggesting that it wouldn't stand academic scrutiny before any set of professional archaeologists or historians. He further calls the ASI the handmaiden of Hindutva. So these are the latest inputs that we've been getting in. Now, for our viewers, as we remember, according to the ASI report, there existed a Hindu temple prior to the construction of Gyan Wapi Mosque, and sculptures of Hindu deities and carved architectural members were found buried under the dumped soil in cellar S2. This is what the latest reports have been suggesting. Now, AIMMI chief Assuddin Owaisi has slammed these reports. Now, joining us on the broadcast is our colleague Ananya. Very good morning, Ananya. What more details do we have? One, about the ASI report, and second, about AIMI chief slamming the entire report and calling ASI the handmaiden of Hindutva.
Well, definitely, the ASI report came out last night. Remember that this 92-day survey was carried out by one of the most premier bodies when it comes to carrying out excavations and surveys, the Archaeological Survey of India. And after the survey was actually conducted, the report that runs into more than 800 pages was submitted before, in fact, the Varanasi District Court. The revelations came out yesterday night when Vishnu Shankar Jain held a press conference. We also got a copy of that particular report, wherein it is very, very clear that on the basis of the findings of that particular survey carried out by the Archaeological Survey of India, there existed a Hindu temple before, in fact, the Gyan Wapi Mosque was built. Very, very categorically and clearly. I'd read down that particular part of that particular report. Based on the scientific study survey carried out by the study of the archaeological remain, exposed features, artifacts, inscriptions, art and sculpture, it can be said that there existed the Hindu temple prior to the construction of the existing structure. Not only this, the politics on this matter has already begun. Assuddin Owaisi coming out loud and, blazing all guns, very, very clearly saying that this wouldn't stand academic scrutiny before a set of professional archaeologists or historians. Now, basically, Assuddin Owaisi is questioning one of the most premier agencies when it comes to archaeological survey. It is the Archaeological Survey of India. It is the ASI, the most premier body in the country who carries out such excavations, not only in this Gyan Wapi Mosque, but also it has carried out big to the biggest ones, the Dholavira excavations we talk about, or we talk about the remains of the Indus Valley civilization being found out. So definitely Assuddin Owaisi raising questions on the ASI report, and goes on to say that the report is based on conjecture and makes a mockery of the scientific study.
Right, Ananya. Thank you so much for all those details. We'll keep coming back to this story as the day progresses, but these are big assertions and statements coming in from Owaisi. Now, moving our focus to another breaking input. Well, the chief guest of today's Republic Day parade, French President Emmanuel Macron wishes Indians on Republic Day. He says, happy and proud to be in India, posts a picture with PM Modi on the micro-blogging website X. So these are the latest details we've been getting in. Emmanuel Macron wishes Indians a very happy Republic Day. He says he's proud to be in India posts a picture with PM Modi on microblogging website X. Well, with that, it's a wrap from our side. Stay tuned to CNN News 18 for more news and updates. Thanks for watching. Jai Hind.
Brought to you by
So, ahead of the 75th Republic Day, we have a lot to talk about as far as India's armed forces are concerned, whether it is indigenization, whether it is, of course, the recently very busy period as far as the Indian Navy is concerned, with operations in the Red Sea, in the Gulf of Aden, and of course, we will also be talking about Indo-French cooperation, because the chief of guest for this year's Republic Day is the French President. Joining us now for this very special interview is a very special guest, the Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral R. Hari Kumar. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this interview on Republic Day Eve for us. Chief, let me start off by asking you, it is the 75th Republic Day. Obviously for the Navy it is a big occasion. What is special as far as the naval contingent is concerned this time around?
This time our naval contingent is consisting of Agniveers, purely Agniveers, 50% women, 50% men. So introduction of the Agniveer scheme we have found it very good for the Navy. The type of personnel we are getting is of very high quality, and this is in keeping with the changing times. And this is the first time we had introduced women in the ranks. So that's been a great step that we have taken, and we find that the enthusiasm, commitment, and competence of the women Agniveers is at par, if not better. The first time we have taken, we got about 272 of them. Now this is the third batch which we have inducted, where the numbers have gone up to almost 454 or so. So it's a substantial increase, and as of today we have close to 1100 women in the ranks.
Wow.
So which is a substantial number which has happened in just 1 year. This in line with the Nari Shakti policy of the Government of India.
I do want to talk to you about the Nari Shakti policy, because I believe one of the contingents, part of the Navy as part of the Tri-Services contingent, is going to be entirely women.
That's right.
So where did that come from, and what is the emphasis as far as Nari Shakti is concerned? You said Agniveers are going to make up an entire contingent this time around as far as the Navy contingent is concerned. Even in that, I believe half of them are women.
So, as I said, the purely Navy contingent is also Agniveers, 50% men and 50% women Agniveers. In the Tri-Service contingent as well, it's a contingent from all the three services with women contingent. So, in that we have 48 women Agniveers participating. So, it just shows that how all the three services have evolved towards being more inclusive and being gender neutral in many ways.
I believe recently, and you mentioned this in your first answer as well, recently a woman officer was promoted as the commanding officer of a warship.
Right. She's been appointed and she'll take over in a month's time or so.
So this whole idea, and we hear this in all services, all three services, that there are certain roles that women can't perform, and you're saying all roles, all ranks. How does that fit in?
Yeah, at least in the Navy we found that they can fit into every single role. In fact, people had doubts whether they can do the job of marine commandos and or whether they can operate in submarines. But I'm convinced these are arms which are where you need volunteers. Firstly, you got to have the aptitude. Secondly, you need to volunteer for it. So if someone is willing to volunteer and somebody is fit enough to either be a marine commander or a submariner, then
why not?
Why not?
I do want to talk about something that you had mentioned some months ago about Atmanirbharta Navy by 2047. Where is the progress of that project? What are still the impediments that are there by way of full indigenization of the naval weapon systems?
So we are completely aligned with the Atmanirbhar program of the Government of India. Navy historically has been working towards being a Atmanirbhar force because there's a saying that navies cannot be bought; they have to be built. So our forefathers had already initiated this process of indigenization, and we started with in 1960s with a small patrol boat, and then gradually it moved on from there to corvette, to frigate, to destroyer, and finally it culminated in the aircraft carrier being built in India. Moment of great pride for us, because hardly 5 or 6 countries in the world can build aircraft carriers and operate them.
Since you mentioned indigenization, and also in the first part of the answers we talked about the French flavor of the Republic Day, because the French president is going to be the chief guest. What can you tell us about some of these deals that have been long in the making. People have been talking about it. The 26 Rafale Marine fighters, the Scorpions. Is there anything expected around this visit and around this Republic Day?
No particular announcement, because already the AON has been accorded for the Rafale M as well as for the 3 repeat orders of the Scorpions. So the DAC has already given acceptance of necessity, and now work is on to sort of get the bids and the cost estimates and work towards getting the contract signed. So work is in progress in this regard with the Rafales as well as the 3 repeat order Scorpions. So the repeat order obviously will be built by MDL. And that is the work that is.
Do you have any timelines for when you expect?
Hopefully, it should get done in this year, because we are looking at induction of the Rafales in by 2027 or so, or maybe 28, because it takes time from the time of signing the contract. It will take at least 36 months for the first aircraft to come, and then it has to do trials on board, Vikrant and so on. So. You may ask as to, while talking of Atmanirbharta, why are you talking of, getting, Rafales from outside? Essentially, it is, as a stopgap. That's what we're looking at. And the MiG-29s also will gradually, finish their service life. So, this is a stopgap for the time we are looking at the twin-engine deck-based fighter.
Correct.
Which is going to be made in India. And this is purely going to be based upon the lessons that you've learned from the LCA Navy, and you would have seen the pictures of LCA Navy landing on Vikrant as well. So a lot of data points have been collected, and and we have made the staff requirement for the TEDBF, and we're very confident that it will be a 5th generation fighter. It will have a lot of similarity with the AMCA. Many of the systems which are being developed for AMCA will also fit into this aircraft. So that will essentially be the sort of a next generation fighter aircraft, which will remain with the Navy.
Okay, so the first part of the program we talked about the Republic Day, we talked about the indigenization programs, what is special as far as the naval contingent is concerned for this Republic Day. Now we'll get to some of the more meatier stuff in the second part of this interview with the Chief of Naval Staff, Admiral R. Hari Kumar. Let's talk about some of the stuff that's happened recently. The Indian Navy has been in the news in the Gulf of Aden, in the Red Sea. You've seen these anti-piracy operations. You've seen these attacks by the Houthis, some of the ships, merchant vessels that were threatened. What are you doing? What is the Indian Navy doing to protect Indian ships or even commercial ships that are carrying Indian flags or Indian crew to try and protect the sea lanes?
See, firstly, I want to tell you that, is the Indian Navy's charter to protect, preserve, promote and pursue Bharat's national interests anywhere in the maritime domain. So therefore we are very clear about what is our task and what we are expected to do. We have been participating in anti-piracy operations from 2008 onwards. We have deployed 24/7. So we have been deploying a ship continuously. So as of today, I would say about 106 ships have been there in rotation over the last so many years. To provide security and escort the merchant vessels and so on. Since 2016 or so, we have been involved in Ops Sankalp, which was to assess the ships which are transiting in the Persian Gulf, because there were threats of attack and so on. So we have been deploying a ship there continuously. So now with this current situation where the post the Israel-Hamas conflict, the attacks on essentially Israeli-owned vessels has gone up substantially. If you look at the last 1 year, I would say there have been attacks. I would say maybe one attack in about 2 months or so. But since about in the 45-50 days since end of November, we have seen exponential increase in the number of attacks. So we have counted more than 40 to 43 attacks, drone attacks, and these are clearly evident in 2 distinct locations. One is the Red Sea, where we have seen about 15 reported attacks and many more near misses and some which have not been reported at all and so on. Okay. And the rest of the attacks have happened in the North Arabian Sea to the Central Arabian Sea. So, and at the same time, this anti-piracy operations were ongoing since 2008. I would say it had really tapered off. In the sense, while we were present there, hardly any piracy attack used to happen. Now, suddenly in 2023, last year, towards the end of last year, we found that maybe taking advantage of this, the disturbance happening, because of the Houthi attacks, the piracy also suddenly got, resumed.
I do want to talk about the Houthi problem though, because that is in a way linked to the conflict, the Israel-Hamas conflict as well. And that has added a new dimension to those shipping lanes because they are narrow, they are critical. I believe almost 60% of the world's maritime commercial traffic passes through those very narrow sea lanes. What is your understanding as to how how long that threat will persist and how it can be neutralized? And I come back to that point about how is it just Israeli ships or is it even ships that are of third-party countries like India or Indian crew that are under the target of the Houthis?
I would like to say that as of so far, the ships which have been attacked have largely been, Israeli linked or Israeli owned or some linkage with Israel or some Israeli company. No Indian flagged vessel has been attacked by the Houthis. Of course, some of these vessels which have been attacked did have Indian crew on board, which is the case normally with any vessel. You will find a certain number of Indian crew on board. So far, actually, no Indian vessel has been targeted by the Houthis. But it is interesting that, the dimensions of the conflict, if you look at it, firstly, I would say there is a systematic alignment of the asymmetric forces against nation states. That's one thing which is coming out in this. Like something is happening and, asymmetric forces are now aligning against the nation states, against whoever the coalition, the US-led coalition and so on. Second, I would say is that they are trying to now influence operations on land by carrying out activities at sea. Third, of course, that trying to raise the cost of trade. To interdict the trade so that international community will be forced to probably mediate, etc. Then the ingenious use of technology, drone technology. Use of mass deception, mass communication to the cognitive affect the cognitive ideas of people and inject thoughts which are suitable for these people. And last but not the least, I would say that the asymmetry between the cost of attack and the cost of counter attack is something that is amazing now. When you see a cheap drone, you want to counter it, you fire a surface to air missile on it, which is cost probably 10 times the cost of that, or even more than that. So this is very interesting dynamics there, and I don't see it subsiding very quickly. I would say it is fragile in many ways, and we need to be very careful and we need to watch. But I think if we are very clear as the Indian Navy that we need to ensure that the Indian Ocean region is safe and secure and stable, and we are not going to permit any disturbance. So that is why we are now deployed in adequate numbers. We have 2 operations ongoing. One is the anti-piracy operations, where about 3 ships are deployed, and we have another 6 to 8 units focused on this anti-drone operation. So we have had about 4 attacks in that in this area as well. And we've been able to assist the ships. There have been no loss of life or anything. There has been damage to the ship. We have taken the ship to port, cleared it of explosives, carried out debris analysis and so on. It's very clear that these are drone attacks. Where it has come from, as to what is the origin or which country, etc., is still under examination.
You have mentioned this in the past as well, and this is a problem, I guess, that has been faced in the other services as well, that the future seems to be drone warfare. You just mentioned about how even in the latest instance with the Houthis, most of the attacks were drones. So how is the Navy preparing for that? And 2, if you can give us an update on the MQ-9s. You mentioned the MQ-9s were used in one of these operations. There was an announcement made when the Prime Minister went to the US for the state visit. What is the progress on that?
So firstly, we have been using drones for quite some time now. We've been using the RPAs for at least 20 years, the searchers first and then the herons and so on. And we are aware that the drones bring a lot of advantage. Where firstly, if it's a dull, repetitive, or dangerous task, then we can use drones to undertake these things. And we have also recently inducted a male RPA, the Starliner or Drishti 10, which has been made in India with 60% indigenous content, along with Elbit, who are the OEMs for that. And the future, I would say, the MQ-9B is being processed. It has again got the AON, and there are 31 MQ-9Bs which are being procured, 16 for the land and 15 for the sea use. So it's a joint case which is being led by the Navy now.
I do want to talk about the Indian Ocean region, because recently you've seen the statements from the government of the Maldives. There are about 80 odd Indian military personnel who are there. Are there any naval personnel? Have you got any sort of indications, communication, either from the government of India or from the Maldivian government to the naval personnel who are stationed there about leaving the Maldives?
There are, we have had long-term relationship with the Maldives military, especially the Maldives Coast Guard. We've been training them, we've been supporting them in capability development, capacity building, infrastructure projects, as well as a large number of them come for training in Singh. We do exercise like exercise Ekta and all. It's been going on for quite some time. Now, so there is extensive cooperation with them, and even as we speak, there are many of them doing courses in India in our own establishments. So that's an ongoing process. Now, with the change stance, between the governments, if they, want us to de-induct, etc., it's a policy of the government. If whatever our government says, we'll do that. You're right, we have about 80 odd personnel there, not purely from the Navy, but from Coast Guard as well. And some from HAL, and who are, providing support to the two Dornier aircraft, the LH, and the ships or boats which we have, assisted them with. So it's ongoing. So we await instructions, whatever is the decision.
So
of the
far,
government.
there's been no communication or intimation from the government on removal of
we're not
so far. Keeping in that, and I guess some of this is because of the growing influence of China in the Indian Ocean region. What do you make of that, and what is the Indian Navy doing to try and not curtail, but restrict the growing influence of China? We saw some of that in Sri Lanka some years ago. That has now naturally changed. Now I guess we're seeing more of that in Maldives, including this research vessel, I believe, which is on its way to Malé. How concerned is the Indian Navy about the nature of this research vessel and its proximity to Indian territorial waters?
Well, China has been in the Indian Ocean region since 2008. Every year they have nearly, a constant presence of about anything between 6 to 8 ships in the Indian Ocean region. They also have, a couple or more research vessels operating here. They have a large fleet of fishing vessels which operate here. So I would say, the oceans are free, open and inclusive, and every nation is free to pursue its legitimate, interests. So long as it does not infringe on, others' national interests. And China has been looking for, energy, for markets, for resources, for, precious metals and rare earths and so on. So it's they have been engaging with countries in the littorals for all these things. So the research vessels essentially have been operating in the international waters, which they are free to actually do so. Yeah. And they have also been invited by some of the nations like Sri Lanka or Bangladesh to do survey for them in their waters. So either they have a joint survey carried out, or it is it's as per the invitation of the host government. But our concern has been that it should not affect our EEZ or our interests, and this we keep a close watch on, and we try to see what is we keep them under surveillance to see what they're up to and what they're doing, and and we factor it in our planning process in development of capability.
Because I believe recently there was also a hydrographic project with the Maldives, which again was called off. So is there a concern that the Maldives is probably allowing or using China to enter those spaces which traditionally they have asked India to operate on when it comes to cooperation on?
We have been cooperating with most of the Indian Ocean region countries, whether it is Kenya, Tanzania, Mauritius, Seychelles, Maldives, Myanmar, so with all these countries we have been, assisting them in hydrographic survey. Why hydrographic survey is very important? Because it is like, ensuring that you can do safe navigation in these waters. Because the corals grow, rocks, there may be rocks, there may be wrecks, etc. So regular surveys required, and many of the surveys in these in the Indian Ocean region have been carried out by the British, and many of the surveys are more than 50 years, 60 years old. There was a MOU with the Maldives government which was there till I think end of middle of this year. So perhaps they don't want to renew it. We'll discuss with them to see what is the way ahead.
as I come to the concluding part of this this interview, I believe very soon there will be next month multilateral naval exercises involving a whole host of countries. Is India and the Indian Navy also now sort of projecting power far away from its shores in a way, because this is the game that major powers seem to be playing, whether it is in the East and South China Seas, in the Indian Ocean region. Tell us a little bit more. I believe it's called Milan. Milan. So tell us a little bit more.
See, Milan
what is the idea behind
so
this?
The Milan is the largest exercise that we have been hosting. It's a biennial exercise. Last was done in 2022 February. We hold it off at Visakhapatnam. It has got a harbour face and a sea face. And the theme this time is cohesion, collaboration, camaraderie. And where does it emanate from? It emanates from our doctrine of Sagar, security and growth for all in the region, which is articulated by the Honourable Prime Minister. And therefore, based upon this, we invite them, as I would say the largest resident naval power in the Indian Ocean region. The numbers have been growing steadily. This time we have invited more than close to 60 countries, and we expect about at least 50 naval delegations or units to participate.
And finally, Admiral, you're reaching the end of your tenure as we're reaching the end of this interview. How has this honour been for you to lead the Indian Navy, and what next?
It's been a great honour and a privilege to lead the Indian Navy. I feel satisfied that I could bring in a lot of changes, transformational changes in line with the national ethos. So we have been trying to do a job at sea, and at the same time, remained aligned with the initiatives of the Government of India. So that while Rashtra Suraksha is a job, we are also contributing to nation building in that same effort. So it has been very satisfying, many transformational changes we could bring in, especially taking out this Gulami Mansikta se Mukti, which has been reiterated time and again by our national leadership.
All right, Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Hari Kumar, thank you very much for this extensive interview here on CNN News 18, and once again, Happy Republic Day to you.
Thank you, Zaka. Happy Republic Day.
Thank you.
नमस्ते लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, गणतंत्र दिवस की आप सभी दर्शकों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं. As we bask in the glory of 75th Republic Day, thank you for joining us in a tapestry of pride, unity and joy. Our today's special broadcast promises a day filled with vibrant celebrations and noteworthy moments. And with that, let's straight away talk about the celebrations that we have planned for our viewers as well as the nation's people. India marks its 75th Republic Day today with French President Emmanuel Macron as the chief guest of the parade today. The themes for this year are Viksit Bharat and Bharat Loktantra Ki Matrika. The parade will commence from Vijay Chowk and will conclude at Kartavya Path, showcasing vibrant tableaus representing each state's cultural and developmental achievements. Now, military contingents will add grandeur and the Indian Air Force's awe-inspiring flypast will highlight the nation's air prowess as well. The 2024 Republic Day celebrations promise a visual feast, serving as a memorable tribute to India's rich tapestry, embodying unity, diversity and progress. And on the eve of Republic Day, there was work as usual on the line of control as well for the Indian Army. The celebrations were less, but the morale and guard were high. CNN News 18's Ishan Vani travelled to the Kupwara sector to bring us this special ground report from the line of control straight. Take a look at that.
CNN News 18 has today travelled several kilometers from Srinagar to Kupwara, where we are at a high altitude area, and my VJ Bashir Lone will give an idea where we are standing. On the eve of Republic Day, how do the forces maintain a tight vigil and how do they patrol the line of control? Today we are going to show you and demonstrate to you that how forces are keeping a tight vigil at a high altitude area around the line of control in Titwal of Kupwara.
For these men, the terrain is difficult but not insurmountable. They walk through the steep and rocky terrain day in and day out. Their eyes are searching for any movement close to the fence here in North Kashmir's Kupwara. Every move must be taken with caution. At this altitude, one slip can be fatal. The Indian Army has an advantage thanks to its modern equipment and weaponry. Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed a deficit snowfall, which means infiltration is possible, and the only way to fend off a cunning opponent in Tangdhar is to maintain a 24-hour watch.
Challenges अपनी जगह हैं, but हमारी आर्मी फिजिकली और मेंटली फिट है. हमारा मोराल और जोश बिल्कुल हाई है, और जो हमें न्यू जनरेशन वेपन और इक्विपमेंट जो मिले हैं, उनकी मदद से ये सारी जो हमारी ड्रिल्स हैं और जो सारी हमारी जो कार्रवाइयाँ हैं जो हमें यहाँ करनी पड़ती हैं, वो हम बहुत आसानी से और बहुत ही बखूबी निभा पाते हैं.
The smuggling of drugs, weapons and ammunition into the Kashmir Valley has decreased as a result of the installation of a layered security system along the line of control. Amid low visibility and no snow, the alert is double. On Republic Day, there is an extra vigil and a little time to celebrate.
पूरा देश हर्षोल्लास के साथ मना रहा है और हमने भी हर्षोल्लास के साथ मनाया है. हमारे साथ पीछे सरहद के गांव हैं, हम वहां जाते हैं, वहां झंडा फहराते हैं, मिठाइयां बांटते हैं, और जो हमारे साथ जो साथी जवान हैं वहां भी बिल्कुल हम हर्षोल्लास के साथ 26 जनवरी मनाते हैं.
While the nation is busy celebrating Republic Day, here at the line of control is day as usual. There are minimum celebrations, but day goes as usual. You can see behind me, there are Indian Army men guarding this fence, which is located at a very high altitude. This is a fence which is there to obstruct any infiltration, and anyone trying to infiltrate here would be shot down. They are again maintaining a high vigil on these specific days in these areas where there has been a very less snow, or there has been no snow at all. There are chances of infiltration. To avoid them, they keep maintaining tight vigil and ensure that the nation remains safe on the eve of Republic Day or any other day. With Bashir Lone, Ishan Vani from Kupwara for CNN News 18.
And since it's our 75th Ganatantra Divas, we are now bringing you the live visuals we are getting straight from Kartavya Path. Take a look at that. So these are the live visuals that we have cut across to. The parade will commence from Vijay Chowk and will conclude at Kartavya Path. You can stay tuned to CNN News 18 to get the glimpse of the parade. We will be showing you the live parade that will start from Vijay Chowk and will conclude at Kartavya Path, showing the vibrant tableaus representing each state's cultural and developmental achievements as well. Today is the day to celebrate those who have made our country proud. Its military contingents will add the grandeur to our country's representation. For our special guest Emmanuel Macron today, who will be coming to grace the carpet at today's Republic Day event. And the Indian Air Force, in fact, is going to showcase the awe-inspiring flypast that will highlight the nation's air prowess. Listen in to the details that we are hearing.
दुनिया की शीर्ष अर्थव्यवस्थाओं में शामिल हो रहा भारत है, हर क्षेत्र में आगे बढ़ रहा भारत है, संकल्प से सिद्धि की ओर अग्रसर देश की इस गौरवमयी परंपरा का निर्वहन आज 75वें गणतंत्र दिवस पर मूर्त रूप ले रहा है, नारी शक्ति के उदय और प्रदर्शन के रूप में.
Welcome to the grandest parade venue in the country on the most important day of a republic. In a few minutes, we will witness the grand spectacle of our country's military prowess, its scientific developments, glimpses of the rich cultural heritage, all on display. Each year, the parade showcases and celebrates our military might, our diversity in culture, language and traditions, musical and dance traditions, our soldiers, our veterans and our freedom fighters, many of whom are present here at this Kartavya Path. The theme of the Republic Day centers around India, mother of democracy, and Viksit Bharat, or developed India. A day of immense significance as we reaffirm the spirit of freedom. We underscore the sovereignty and self-governance bestowed on us through the Constitution.
All right, we have CNN News 18's defense correspondent Akash joining us live on the broadcast. Akash, a very good morning to you. Happy Republic Day. Tell us everything, what's happening on the ground, what's the mood like, and of course, the beefed up security for today's event as we are expecting French President joining us for the celebrations.
Good morning, Sakshi. Happy Republic Day to you and to all our viewers. And this day is an important day, important occasion when we are going to see parade from 10:30 a.m. onwards. But talking about security at this point in time, I'm trying to show you the visuals of Shanti Path, which is the road is important because it is leading to the VVIP area. You know, every ambassador or every representative from different foreign nation is passing through from this particular road, and this is also a reason why we have this security deployment where a number of Delhi police personnel are deployed. This time on Kartavya Path we are going to see Nari Shakti, and importantly this security team is being led by the sub-inspector here, and you can see, in fact I'll try to show you the visuals. Pradeep Das ji will show you the security team that is being led by a woman officer only, and this is the kind of mood whenever we talk about our security forces, whenever we talk about armed forces. So we are seeing Nari Shakti everywhere. In fact, at this point in time, you see the movement here where Delhi police personnel have been deployed on Shanti Path, and they are checking, in fact making sure that no unauthorized entry is happening into central Delhi central area. From 10:30 a.m. onwards, we are going to see Republic Day parade, Republic Day celebration, where the chief guest Emmanuel Macron will be there, will be witnessing all our marching contingents, all our tableaus, the culture of India, and also the fly past, where in fact 2 Rafales from France are going to take part, 1 transport aircraft is going to take part, and this is happening for the first time, Sakshi, when 100 women will be leading this parade, will be heralding this particular parade for the first time. Loktantra ki Matrika Bharat, Viksit Bharat, these are 2 themes, and also we are going to see Nari Shakti on Kartavya Path from 10:30 a.m. onwards. You see, whenever we talk about this important occasion, earlier we used to see parade starting from 9 a.m. but from last 2 years, in fact last time we had parade from 10:30 a.m. and this time also parade is going to start from 10:30 a.m. onwards. IMD has predicted clear visibility, in fact visibility up to 1500 meters. It means that those who are coming to see parade, spectators will not be seeing visibility as one barrier in their view, and they will be able to see parade, they will be able to see the marching contingents. Once again, if I can show you the visuals, Delhi police personnel are basically deployed, are checking the vehicles that are passing from this particular area, are making sure that everyone who is passing from this particular area is either having valid pass or a valid reason where he can define as to what is the reason why he is going to Central Delhi area, if he or she has his office work, his routine work, or what is the reason behind the particular travel. This particular team, the security team, is being led by the women officer. As I mentioned earlier, Nari Shakti is something that we are talking about, and it will be seen both at Kartavya Path and is in fact being seen here at Shanti Path as well.
Definitely, Akash, and the mood is looking very electrifying with all the beefed up security. Thank you so much for walking us through all those details staged from the ground. Joining us on this special broadcast are two very special guests, retired Lieutenant General KJ Singh, he's the defense expert, he's joining us on the broadcast, as well as retired Air Marshal BK Pandey sir, he's the former Air Officer, Commanding-in-Chief of the Training Command, is joining us on the broadcast. Happy Republic Day to both of you, sir. Namaste, thank you so much for joining CNN News 18 early this morning. Pandey sir, let's begin with you. What do you have to tell us about the theme this year? It's Bharat as mother of democracy as well as Viksit Bharat, developmental nation, a developing nation, a developed one that will become on 2047. What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think we have a very glorious past and a very rich cultural heritage. And we have grown over the years. We are now one of the leading nations of the world. Given our size of the nation and the size of the population, I am sure we deserve a place on the global scene, which we have acquired. And today we can proudly say that we are one of the leading nations of the world. We may not be militarily dominant everywhere like some other nations are, but certainly we have much to share with the world, much to give to the world in terms of our cultural heritage, and we are very proud of it. And I am very proud of being an Indian.
Definitely, sir. Lieutenant General KJ Singh, now coming to you, let's talk about the special representation of Nari Shakti this year. We are expecting all women contingents marching today as well. What do you have to say about this special representation that has been planned for our guest today?
Sakshi, Jai Hind, thank you. And I would like to first greet all your viewers on the Republic Day. Happy Republic Day. And let us all first pay our homage to all the brave hearts, all the heroes who have made it possible for us to arrive at Amrit Kaal. It's because of their sacrifices, their valiant efforts, that we are able to celebrate this day today. So coming to your question proper, see, this has been going on for a while, that we have included women contingents. But it is for the first time we have a combined, a joint contingent of all three services marching, I'll not say down, marching up the Kartavya Path from Rajpath. One message is of women empowerment, and second message, which is even more important, is jointness, getting combined, getting together. The theme that the government is addressing, we've already got a chief of defense staff. It is time to get into the joint structures like all other advanced armed forces, and this joint contingent is giving that message to all of us.
Definitely.
Sakshi?
Definitely, sir. Mr. Pandey, now coming back to you, since we are talking about our very special guest who will be joining us for the celebrations this time, let's talk about the bonhomie that India and France actually share. And as Lieutenant General also mentioned that, this is the first time that a guest country is going to represent themselves in our Republic Day celebration as well. How crucial is that for India?
I'm sorry, I did not get the point that you made. What exactly is the clarification you want?
Sir, I wanted to understand that how crucial is this going to become for the relation that India and France is sharing, because this is the first time that a guest country is going to represent themselves in our Republic Day celebrations.
Yes, today France is one of our closest friends and allies on the international scene. The armed forces, you may be aware, is largely dependent on French military equipment, especially the Air Force. Being from the Air Force, I can tell you undoubtedly we are very proud that we have aeroplanes like the Rafale, which are leading fighter in our combat fleet. So our relationship with France is indeed very deep, and I think it's a very good gesture on our part, on the part of our leadership, to invite the French President to be the chief guest at this occasion, and we are very happy about that.
Definitely. Lieutenant General KJ Singh, throwing the same question towards you, since you are our defense expert as well. Would you like to shed some light on the relationship that India and France share, and how today's particular event is going to strengthen the bond between the two nations?
See, we have shared values with France. We fought in World War II, World War I. We were on the same side, though we were being ruled by colonial powers. Over the years, we have used large amount of French equipment. We've had Mirage aircraft, frontline aircrafts, and now we are flying Rafale. That apart, our helicopter fleet has always been based on the French engines. The first lot of our helicopters, now we call them Cheetah and Chetak, derived their technology from France. So we have very active collaboration with France, and France is one of the few countries which is willing to do hand-holding, transfer technology, help us to become Atmanirbhar. Now, over the years, we have started going for Bastille Day parade. Our contingent takes part over there. So this year, incidentally, a lady officer who had marched down in Paris in that parade is also taking part in this parade. I think she's Major Yadav who's taking part in this parade. So our bonds, our linkages are only multiplying. We have collaboration with them in submarine production. So it's across various spheres. It's a good thing, and no, we had initially planned to, somehow he had some other commitments and he could not come. His health is also not so good. So here is forward and come for our parade. So who are friends are really friends indeed. So I salute this effort. I commend this effort, and I look forward with a lot of optimism from this exchange. Yeah.
Definitely, sir. And Mr. Pandey, coming back to you, let's talk about a very crucial element of the celebrations that will transpire today is the showcase of the air prowess of our country. Everybody who goes there at the location as a guest, they hold their breath to see the air prowess of the country, our jets flying off. Could you talk to us about that as well? What can be expected? What are the special additions that have been made this year?
Well, As far as air power is concerned, we have been heavily dependent on France. We have had a long and a very well established relationship, and today our fighter fleet is largely dependent on the French industry. So we are going to display all our equipment, that is fighters. As you know, the Rafale is the leading fighter that the French fighter that we have, and of course we have a helicopter fleet which is also originally from France, but of course we are manufacturing them in here in India. But our relationship has been very sound, and we are very happy and very proud of it, and we hope that we will continue with this in the future. And what we are going to display here is just, shall we say, very few items of military hardware that we have, but what is more important is that the long-term perspective and the long-term relationship that we have with France in the military field is our strength.
Definitely. Lieutenant General, coming back to you, let's talk about the tableau's representation as well, because that is going to show our India's culture. The different states are going to represent, they are going to be represented through different tableaus showing different colors, music. We are expecting the ISRO's special tableau based on Chandrayaan this time as well. Are you excited for that?
Yeah, I am very excited. You know, there at my age, the skeptic in me also sometimes surfaces. And let me answer skeptics who would be viewing this. Is it necessary to have such extravaganza? But my answer is, why not? It's time to feel proud, to sort of get inspired. We are in Amritkal. This is our time. So we have to showcase our culture, our diversity, rededicate ourselves. I was very enthused to hear that they'll be displaying the drapes of saris as a backdrop, and different colored, different types of saris which signify our diversity would be forming the backstage as the parade marches by. And there'll be QR codes, and you'll be able to read the type of designing, type of weaving, the origin. And we've all, you hear Banarsi, Paithani, and like this, there are so many types of saris India has got. So that apart, the tableaus which are coming up are displaying Viksit Bharat. The theme of the fact that by 2047, we will indeed be developed nations by the strictest possible parameters. So in order to do that, how are we moving forward? There are things like, besides the culture, like what you're talking about, there is artificial intelligence being showcased. There is advancement in health, which is also being showcased. And also we are showing the achievements of Chandrayaan 3, our venture to going to moon, and also our lunar mission. So all these things, all in all, would work on and display the themes of Atmanirbhar Bharat, Viksit Bharat, the Bharat which is trying to scale the frontiers of science and technology, as well as look or draw strength from its rich cultural heritage and past. So that's how I look at it, Sakshi.
Definitely. Mr. Singh and Mr. Pandey, we'll request you to please stay with us on this very special broadcast on our 75th Republic Day. It's time to slip into a very short commercial break. We'll come back with more stories on the other side.
Brought to you by
Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned with CNN News 18. We'll bring you all the colors and celebrations of 75th Republic Day today straight from the ground. But right now, our special guest, retired Air Marshal B.K. Pandey, as well as Lieutenant General K.J. Singh, continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Mr. Singh, now coming back to you. My next question to you would be the presence of President Macron, which will be further amplified by the French Rafales flying along with the Indian Rafales at Kartavya Pat today. How crucial is that going to be as far as the relation between India and France is concerned?
The French participation is in various domains. If I have read correctly, the official press statement which says that there will be a French marching contingent, there will be a band detachment of France. So it is a reciprocal gesture on their part. Their Rafales will take part in the march past. Transporter, Airbus, would be also be part of this fly past or taking part to support it. So it is across various spectrum. And beyond all these festivities and some needs, we are sure there is a back channel serious discussion going on. There is certain amount of agreement and work which has been done in transfer of technology for Safran engine production, joint production, which is likely to be part of our new advanced fighter aircraft that we are trying to make, AMCA. So if that be so, it would be not only the symbolic things which will happen, which are indeed required to further cement this relationship. But beyond that, back channel discussions and diplomacy, I'm sure in coming days, there'll be more announcements, which will take this collaboration of defense technology of notches high. So I am looking forward to that. And that is where these are mood-setting exercises to publicly display our friendship, our bond. But beyond that, we have to work seriously on defense technology, which is our core concern.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely. Mr. Pandey, now coming to you, if we were to talk about the special editions, since we are talking about the symbolic representation this time, but let's talk about the symbolic representation. All right, first up, let's cut across to the live visuals of flag hoisting being done by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh over there. We are cutting across to the live visuals that we are receiving, and we are showing it to our viewers as well. This is the flag hoisting being done by our defence expert. Now coming back to you, Mr. Pandey, since I was talking about the symbolic things that might have been done this year, why this year's Republic Day celebration is going to be even more grand, even more special. If we were to specifically talk about the Air Force sector, what were the special additions which were added this year, and how is it going to be different from the last year's celebration?
Well, it's a progressive issue. Every year, the Air Force would display its latest capabilities in terms of military hardware that it acquires, and its latest its capabilities are on on public display. So it's nothing strange. After all, France has supplied us with the latest military aeroplanes, and of course the helicopter fleet also has been supported by the French industry. So to that extent we are grateful to France, and it's only right that we project this relationship on an occasion like this.
Definitely. Mr. Singh, now coming back to you, if we were to talk about the actual boost that the army got at the line of control, would you like to shed some light on the boost this year specifically? How the morale has been boosted across the line of control as far as our army members are concerned?
The Indian Army works on one thing which army requires is clear directions and also freedom to operate. So in these two aspects, the government has displayed a lot of will. The fact that we could carry out surgical coordinated raids, we took that audacious step of going for Balakot, has conveyed that message to army indeed. That has been done. The second thing that the army requires is the latest or modern weaponry which is required to man the line of actual control and stand up to the challenges over there. So in this regard, through the emergency procurement route, a large amount of modern weapons have been acquired. We have got rifles, we've got for our personnel who are fighting over there. So all that we are getting and we are providing it to troops who are on the line of actual control. And government has decided to not get stopped by lengthy procedures where it is required. You just are getting the clearance through the emergency procurement route and you are giving it to your troops on the ground. And so that is, and we need those long range rifles also which are required to spot and eliminate people who are operating from some protection from across the LAC. Now earlier we used to have Dragunov rifles which were very old, which were Russian, but we have managed to overcome that deficiency. We have replaced them by latest weaponry which is proving very effective over there. And third aspect is about the habitation, which is constantly being improved. I must also add, I have somehow slipped up on that aspect, the surveillance. The surveillance is also being beefed up by putting up smart fences. So if I was to sum up the clear intent and direction, freedom to operate, certain amount of autonomy, giving them the latest weaponry, the latest rifles, long-range spotting rifles, and surveillance devices and habitation. These are the factors which are making it better environment for our people who man the LAC. I salute all of them. They are standing up to adversity, to challenge which is being posed by proxy war, and they are the fact that ceasefire which was inked in 2022 is holding. It is going to be 2 years. So that is also a great sort of redeeming feature, and it gives us a lot of confidence and security.
Definitely. Mr. Pandey, now coming back to you, we heard Madam President speaking on the eve of Republic Day as well. The day begins with her unfurling the tricolour as well, with inclusion of all women tri-services in parade this specific year, because it's going to be all about Nari Shakti. What impact do you think is it going to make on the gender dynamics of the armed forces?
Well, when I joined the armed forces more than 7 decades ago, there were no women except in the medical corps. But then now the scene is quite different. Women are coming into the armed forces in a big way. And why not? After all, women constitute 50% of our society, and they have equal rights to be, and they are equally capable. And if I may say, they are even more capable than men to take up roles in the armed forces. And we have seen them now for years, for some years now, that they have been in the armed forces, and in no way are they less competent. They are quite progressive, and as far as we are concerned, I think we should be proud of this, that women are playing a major role towards the security of the nation.
Definitely. Mr. Singh, Prime Minister Modi is not only a nation's leader, he's a global leader this time. We have seen his friendship with several world leaders, a very special bond that he shares with some of the leaders. This time, we just saw a couple of minutes back, Emmanuel Macron, in fact, wishing the nation Happy Republic Day. He shared a selfie with Prime Minister Modi on his social media account as well. How do you perceive the growing international presence of India under Modi's government?
See, India has today come to a stage where it is fastest growing economy. It is also the most populated nation. Beyond that, it is also displayed continuity of democracy. It has proved that it is not interested in expansionism or grabbing others' territories, and it is a good responder when it comes to natural disasters. We recently went to aid of even a country like Turkey, which does not, which is always taking part in activities which are not favorable to us. And recently, Turkey is engaged with Maldives to unsettle us. So, in that light, we have conveyed a very focused message that India is a reliable partner, friend, a nation which has got a huge big market, and beyond that it has got human resource which is dominating the field of technology in this spectrum of STEM, science, technology, engineering and mathematics. It is the leading nation even in America. So if that be so, all countries are interested in having good relations with India, and there is a dominant thought which is emerging. Like recently, Elon Musk also said it is indeed funny why India is not on a member or permanent member of the Security Council. He says you can't just believe it that it can happen like this. So India has come to that stage, and everybody, and I must grant it to the fact that we've had a very stable government for last 10 years. So that has also contributed. There is a continuity of relations, and somewhere, though the relations are driven by national interest, and it is not only personal chemistry, no nation will do engagement with us if it but PM Modi, he has given interest remain the core, and he has, like we say, he's put that garnish, that tadka on that relationship.
Definitely. Mr. Singh and Mr. Pandey will request you to please stay with us. We have CNN News 18's Ishan Bani joining us live on the broadcast straight from Srinagar as well. Ishan, a very good morning to you. Happy Republic Day. You got us a very special report straight from the line of control telling us that a soldier is never off duty, as well as the special arrangements that have been put on place there for today as far as the morale boosting of our soldiers is concerned. Could you walk us through more details, please?
Well, yes, a massive program has been organized both in Jammu and Srinagar by the government. I'm at the Bakshi Stadium in Srinagar, where you will notice a lot of crowd is today filling in the stadium. These visuals you wouldn't see several years back, but today we're seeing a lot of government employees, people at large have also turned up. The government has made sure that there are less security arrangements given their confidence they have on the security measures, and asked people that they can come without any frisking. And today we also drove ourselves until the gate of the stadium, which means that security arrangements are less. The government is confident that they have been able to build trust and also bridge that essential security gap that existed. Because you will hear attacks taking place on this day on security forces, but none so far, and security forces are making sure that they're able to provide peaceful environment so that people can celebrate Republic Day in peace. Forces have been deployed at many locations, and women contingents are also part of this massive parade which will take place here in Srinagar. While the government is trying to ensure that they're able to give people safety and security and ensure that they're able to come to the stadium, at the same time measures are less. People have been facilitated to come to the stadium and witness for themselves the Republic Day parade, where several of them have turned up. You'll see that entire, these staircases are full of people, crowd who have come in large numbers. You will also notice that a lot of attention has been given to the detailing this time around. And Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha will take salute in Jammu, while in Srinagar, his advisor R.R. Bhatnagar will also take salute and take part in this particular function. Now, this is a vibrant, colorful function that is being organized. You will also notice on my left-hand side that this massive indoor stadium has been colored, has been put up, tricolour has been put up on this particular stadium as well, to give that particular contrast of this massive day that India and the country at large is celebrating. So yes, there is excitement among people, and the government has asked already people to come here and witness for themselves and how beautiful the Republic Day celebrations are in Srinagar, because for many years we have seen that not a lot of people would come because of the security measures and other situation, but government now says the situation has become peaceful and people can come and watch for themselves this exciting function that is taking place in Srinagar as well as in Jammu.
Definitely. Ishan, please stay with us. I'll request both of our guests to stay with us on the broadcast as well. It's time to slip into a very short commercial break. We'll come right back.
The new
moot point being that for Mamata Banerjee, this is cold arithmetic. This is cold election arithmetic. she doesn't stand to gain as much from allying with the left and the Congress as they stand to gain by allying with the TMC. The TMC is going to fight on its own. Then where is the India alliance?
The Vigraha which is going to be there now as Ramlala Virajman, what did you feel?
I had tears in my eyes. I cried, to be very honest. I don't know why. It was there. Jai Shri Ram.
All the shops here in this 2-kilometer long road now have the same consistent facade to give this entire area a facelift. Some are saying that even for an orator like Narendra Modi, it was one of his best speeches.
This is a Nyaya Yatra, isn't it? It's about high principles of upholding justice, delivering justice and upholding the law. But the person in the middle of your frames stands accused today, sir, of breaking the law.
The new
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. And as India is all ready to mark its 75th Republic Day today with French President Emmanuel Macron as the special chief guest of the parade celebrations, the theme for this year, as we told you before, are Viksit Bharat and Bharat Loktantra Ki Matrika, which is mother of democracy. The parade will commence from Vijay Chowk and will conclude at Kartavya Path is what we are expecting, showcasing the vibrant tableau representing each state's cultural and developmental achievements as well. Our two very special guests continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Mr. Pandey, now coming back to you, if we were to talk about some of your memories as far as the Republic Day celebrations are concerned, would you like to walk us through the memory lane?
Well, this Republic Day is a very significant day for us, and it is a day that we celebrate with pride. And ever since India became independent and we became a republic more than 7 decades ago, this day has held a very prominent place in our lives, whether as a schoolboy or as a young officer in the armed forces, and then finally even after retirement we continue to celebrate this day with great pride and enthusiasm, and I am sure this will continue because it is something to be proud of, because this is the day India became a republic.
Definitely. Mr. Singh, now if we were to talk about the military to military connection between the India and France, because we are learning that there are 6 Indian soldiers who will be marching in the French contingent this time. What would you like to tell us about this military to military tie of India and France?
See, like I told you, we fought the great wars together. So there is a great amount of respect that French citizenry has about us, about India. They have great regard for us. There are war memorials in France which commemorate the sacrifice of Indian soldiers. This apart, we started taking part in the Bastille Day parade, where our contingent goes there and marches down the Paris parade space. And as a reciprocal gesture this year, they have also brought in their contingent, and they also have a small detachment of band, like Air Marshal pointed out to us, Air Marshal Pandey, that we have in the fly past, we have the Rafales taking part. So our cooperation is like, it firstly is in the sphere of army, which is in exchanges, and there's not much in technology, but I hope we discover common areas in technology. It is definitely in Air Force, starting with the famous Cheetah helicopters, Alouettes that we got, and thereafter we transformed them into Chetaks and now ALX Dhruva. So engine technology has continued, and we have collaborated, and more of that is likely to take place. There are indications. Then we have had aircraft, starting from Mirages now to Rafales, and even before that we had collaboration with France. We also have collaboration in the unseen domain of submarines. There is a huge big collaboration. We are wanting to take it forward also. So because France got edged out in certain technological development in Australia for submarine development. So that is likely to now get shifted to India. India is likely to Scorpion and all these projects are going on. So more is likely to happen. And I missed out. Allow me to, my memory sometimes fails me. In the field of missiles, we've had a lot of collaboration with France. The first generation wire-guided missiles came to India from France. We got this SS-11B1, and thereafter we have carried on certain amount of exchanges. We have these Milan missiles, which are still there, and we have customized those missiles onto night vision devices. We call it Mira, Milan adapted to fighting at night. So in land warfare, the missiles are there. Air warfare, helicopters and aircrafts are there. And in the naval domain, we have the submarines. So huge, big, addressing all the spheres.
Definitely, Mr. Singh. Mr. Pandey, we have been witnessing such celebrations from many years now, as you said, for almost 7 decades now. But from the past couple of years, Independence Day celebrations as well as Republic Day celebrations are celebrated across the country as a festival. According to you, what changed? If we were to talk about the emotions, if we were to talk about the sentiments of the people, that they have finally understood, that what exactly Republic Day and Independence Day should be celebrated like?
Well, I agree with you that there is a requirement to make the public aware of the importance and the relevance of this day, Republic Day, because right now it just boils down to a ceremonial parade and possibly some fly past, and that's all. But actually it signifies something much more and much deeper, for which the people need to be educated, and this education must begin in the schools. It must begin with our children, because the future generations must know how important these two Independence and Republic Day celebrations should be in our lives. Of course, we have seen these 2 days in our lives, so we don't need to be re-educated, but definitely future generations will have to be educated properly as far as Independence Day and Republic Day are concerned.
Definitely, Mr. Pandey and Mr. Singh, thank you so much for joining us on this special day, on this special broadcast. Thank you so much for putting your perspective across and talking to us about this special day. Our next group of guests are also very special one. Retired Major General Sanjay Soi. He is the defense expert. He is going to be joining us on the broadcast as well, and retired Group Captain MJ Augustine Vinod. He is also a defense expert. He is joining us on the broadcast as well. Namaste to both of you. Happy Republic Day to both of you as well. Mr. Augustine, let's first chat with you over the significance of this grand day, and let's talk about our very special guest, President Emmanuel Macron, joining us for the celebration. How is that going to be very crucial for the bonhomie that India and France actually share at the moment?
Happy Republic Day to you, to your team, and the entire news channel, and all my country, men, women, and children. I was just, before joining this telecast, I was just going through a few tweets of Emmanuel Macron, and something really stood out is, apart from, of course, wishing us Republic Day, etc., he has tweeted about 30,000 Indian students. He is welcoming them to France, and one of the important highlight there is, he says not necessarily you need to know French. So it is going to be a significant upscale, and he's timed it, I think, perfectly, because children going to Canada have dwindled quite a bit since the time we have had this India-Canada kind of standoff. So a lot of Indians will probably find themselves in France, and have traveled the length and breadth of the country. Wonderful country to be in. And he also probably has realized that there needs to be a kind of balance in terms of the kind of people you get them into the country. So I think it is going to be a significant move that we need to wait and watch.
Definitely.
Studying in France, I mean, I flew the French aeroplane called Mirage 2000. They're technologically, and Scorpion submarines, and they are going to share the design. We already have Scorpion submarines. They are going to kind of do a technology transfer of Scorpion submarine. In the days to come, we are going to manufacture Scorpion submarine or parts of it in India. And how is it going to play out is something, again, we need to watch it. But the fact remains that we will be manufacturing state-of-the-art submarines in India, which is again a significant cooperation between France and India. But what remains to be seen, like I said, is these 30,000 children and more maybe in subsequent years will not only enrich France but also get great treasure trove of knowledge, technology from France into India. So looking at US or any other English speaking country as our go-to for technology, a switch to France is going to be different, great, and French are very down to detail when it comes to technology is concerned, and they are, I mean, I would put them at par with the Germans in some case. Quality that they want to produce is always on top of their agenda. Cost is never the concern. They want to give quality to their clientele, and their attention to detail is par excellence. You look at how Mirage 2000 and Rafale is performing, or in the yesteryears, we had an aeroplane called Tufani. It stood us in great stead when we got independence. One of the few countries which supported us with technology, fighter aircraft, is France. Not many people know this. So later came Russia. So our friendship with France goes back many, many years. And good to see Emmanuel Macron here and making some great announcements. We need to transfer that or translate that into action in days to come. Probably in this year end, we could discuss more on this.
Definitely, sir. Mr. Soy, now coming back to you, let's talk about the theme this year, because it's going to be about India as mother of democracy. It's about celebrating our major theme of unity in diversity. But the most crucial point of theme this year remains Nari Shakti this time. How would you like to comment on the changing dynamics of the gender equality in the defense forces?
In fact, Sakshi, first of all, I wanted to congratulate the viewers to your channel. A very happy Republic Day. And it's a matter of absolutely proud feeling for me to see the India completing 75 years. And now we are in Amrit Kal. And one of the theme of Amrit Kal is also gender equality. And gender equality comes in all forms, in all sectors, whether technology, education, or healthcare, or defense forces. And I am so happy to see it is not a token presence of women. It is in action. In fact, today also more than 15 aircrafts are being, 5 aircrafts are being flown by the women, and all women contingent being led by the women. And there are now in all forms of armed forces, and they are flying the fighter jets, they are into the ships, they are into the fighting arms. So it's a different thing. You cannot waste that 50% of your resource, which could be very, very crucial. And I must say that their jazba, their commitment to the organization, to the armed forces is as good as any menfolk. They no differentiate whether in training or in their postings or in their deployment or whenever any task is given to them.
Sir, Mr. Soy, my apologies to you for interrupting you over there. We are cutting across to some of the visuals that we are receiving straight from Rajpath
down
about
Kartavya Path. And standing there ready to receive him, we have the Raksha Mantri Shri Rajnath Singh, the Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan, Raksha Rajya Mantri Shri Ajay Bhatt, Chief of Army Staff General Manoj Pandey, Chief of Naval Staff Admiral Radhakrishnan Hari Kumar, and the Chief of Air Staff Air Chief Marshal Vivek Ram Chaudhary.
इंडिया गेट और मेजर ध्यानचंद नेशनल स्टेडियम के बीच स्थित है राष्ट्रीय समर स्मारक, जिसे सन 2019 में प्रधानमंत्री मोदी ने राष्ट्र को समर्पित किया था। हमारे गणतंत्र दिवस समारोह की शुरुआत अमर शहीदों को श्रद्धांजलि के साथ होती है। कृतज्ञ राष्ट्र की ओर से प्रधानमंत्री शहीद जवानों को श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करेंगे। उनका आगमन हो रहा है राष्ट्रीय समर स्मारक पर। आज के भारत का एक और तीर्थ है राष्ट्रीय समर स्मारक। ये स्मारक अपने वीर शहीदों के लिए राष्ट्र की कृतज्ञता का प्रतीक है। श्रद्धा और गौरव, इन भावों का संगम है राष्ट्रीय समर स्मारक। प्रधानमंत्री की अगवानी के लिए रक्षा मंत्री श्री राजनाथ सिंह समर स्मारक पर। आगमन देश के माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी का। रक्षा मंत्री, रक्षा राज्य मंत्री, रक्षा सचिव और तीनों सेनाओं के अध्यक्षों से मिलते हुए और राष्ट्रीय समर स्मारक की ओर धीरे धीरे प्रस्थान करते हुए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री।
Bestowing tribute, they say, is practiced not so much in words as in action, honoring and revering those who chose to embrace their lives with courage, discipline, dedication and valor is paying tribute in its finest form. Death may not be a choice, but sacrificing one's life for the country definitely is, and that's why it deserves our deepest gratitude. The Prime Minister will now lead the nation in paying homage to the immortal soldier by laying a wreath at the memorial. The circular wreath, symbolic of eternity, the continuity of life, a circle with no beginning and no end. The evergreens used in the wreath signifying everlasting life. The wreath laying will be followed by 2 minutes of silence to honor and venerate our immortal soldiers, those for whom the nation's safety and protection and integrity came first, always and every time.
प्रधानमंत्री द्वारा पुष्पांजलि अर्पित करने के बाद अंतर सेवागार्ड सलामी शस्त्र और फिर शोक शस्त्र प्रस्तुत करते हैं।
The buglers sounding the rouse, and the guard commander ordering Salami Shastros salute with arms, marking the completion of 2 minutes of silence. A silence where quiet meets calm and time becomes tranquil, our hearts beating for those which now lie still. Time moves on to create a present, but in its wake it leaves behind stories, memories and heroes, some sung, but many unsung. And today, as we celebrate our 75th Republic Day here in New Delhi, and so many of us are witnessing this celebration from the secure and comfortable spaces we inhabit, our men and women in uniform stand firm and committed, guarding and protecting the length and breadth of this beautiful nation we all call home, across dry deserts and snow-clad mountains, along our long coastline and international borders, keeping us safe and secure. The Prime Minister now moving towards the ceremonial digital book, which is kept there to put down his thoughts of gratitude.
अमर शहीदों को राष्ट्र का नमन, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री द्वारा श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित की गई। इस समय उनके साथ रक्षा मंत्री, रक्षा सचिव, सीडीएस और तीनों सेनाओं के अध्यक्ष। अमर जवानों का बलिदान हमेशा प्रेरणा देगा आने वाली पीढ़ियों को। अब डिजिटल पुस्तिका में अपने विचार और अपने मन के भावों को दर्ज करेंगे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री। कैसे शब्दों में बांधें त्याग तुम्हारा, कैसे भावों के समंदर को समेटें हम जब देखते हैं नाम तुम्हारा। तुम मुझसे परिचित न थे, मैं भी तुमसे मिला न था, तुमने जीवन दे दिया मेरे लिए, रहूं मैं सुरक्षित हरदम और मेरे जैसे सब। रहे सुरक्षित ये देश हमारा, मेरा तुम्हारा रिश्ता है अटूट, हमारी मातृभूमि है एक, तुम्हारा कर्म उत्कृष्ट है, तुम्हारा बलिदान श्रेष्ठ है। जब देखते हैं नाम तुम्हारा, तुम मुझसे परिचित न थे, मैं भी तुमसे मिला न था, तुमने जीवन दे दिया मेरे लिए, रहूं मैं सुरक्षित हरदम और मेरे जैसे सब। रहे सुरक्षित ये देश हमारा, मेरा तुम्हारा रिश्ता है अटूट, हमारी मातृभूमि है एक, तुम्हारा कर्म उत्कृष्ट है, तुम्हारा बलिदान श्रेष्ठ है।
The call of duty, when it beckons, drowns out everything else. Every soldier considers it a matter of honor to fight for the country. And that's what makes this sacrifice so supreme. Because the call a soldier answers raises no doubt, no questions, and no second thoughts. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will now depart from the National War Memorial after paying homage to the immortal soldier who lived to serve and served to save. And as the Prime Minister leaves the National War Memorial after the wreath-laying ceremony and moves towards the saluting base at Rajpath, he carries with him the gratitude of a nation for those who protected this country and a deeper responsibility to lead the nation towards a future that is equitable and secure for all.
अब माननीय प्रधानमंत्री प्रस्थान कर रहे हैं कर्तव्य पथ पर सलामी मंच की ओर। इंडिया गेट से राष्ट्रपति भवन का मार्ग कर्तव्य पथ अब गतिविधियों का केंद्र बनने वाला है। हमारा 75वां गणतंत्र दिवस समारोह।
Yes, the focus will now move to the saluting base, where after the arrival of President Draupadi Murmu, Kartavya Path will resonate with a medley of sounds, the clip-clop of hooves on the tarmac, martial music, the crisp crunch of marching boots, the mechanized rumble of military machine, beautiful folk music, the roar of fighter jets, and of course, repeated applause of an highly appreciative audience here.
We're now at the saluting days at Kartavya Path, where we await the arrival of the Prime Minister. The first glimpse of Rashtrapati Bhavan, and you can see the presidents of India and France, Srimati Draupadi Murmu and His Excellency Emmanuel Macron, as they emerge from the Grand Darbar Hall, bedecked with the shining chandelier and velvet tapestry. Both of them being escorted by the Military Secretary, Major General Ranjit Singh Manral, and the Deputy Military Secretary, Group Captain Abhay Fansalkar. The ADCs, Major Rohit Rasgotra and Squadron Leader Saurabh Sharma, escorting the two presidents as they move to the forecourt, wherein we've got the President's bodyguard in position to give the salute to the Supreme Commander and then escort her to the saluting base on Kartavya Path.
देश की सेनाओं की सर्वोच्च कमांडर भारत की राष्ट्रपति माननीय श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू इस वर्ष के गणतंत्र दिवस के हमारे खास मेहमान फ्रांस के राष्ट्रपति श्री इमैनुअल मैक्रों के साथ दरबार हाल से फोर कोर्ट की ओर राष्ट्रपति भवन के प्रांगण की ओर प्रस्थान कर रही हैं। राष्ट्रपति महोदया के ठीक पीछे हैं राष्ट्रपति के सैन्य सचिव मेजर जनरल रंजीत सिंह मनराल और राष्ट्रपति के उप सैन्य सचिव में कर्तव्य पथ की ओर प्रस्थान करेंगे।
The smartly turned out President's bodyguard in the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan on their magnificent horses, the senior-most regiment of the Indian Army, that is 251 years old since its raising in 1773. A unique and distinct regiment as it carries